Yeah, well, I'm sorry, Xfinity. It was a Democrat plot for Xfinity to have an outage during the Peach Crew this morning. But roll Tide, we're in the playoffs, and make sure you vote. And these special elections have proven we've got to up our game in order to win. Volunteer for your local party. Volunteer and let's win the midterms. And God bless you. Yeah, let's see, Mike Collins, by the way, he has a lot of accusations of racism. And one of the things that Mike Collins did is the New York YRs that got in trouble for all those racist and anti-Semitic text threads, especially racist. Mike is going to speak to them, to this club, on December 13th. This guy will get trounced by Ossoff. Jackie, I'm glad you're part of the Peach Crew.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Good morning, and welcome to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We are indeed broadcasting live from our studios in Nashville, Tennessee. It is Wednesday morning, December 10th, 2025. It's time for the Morning Rundown, which is brought to you every weekday at this time by our friends at the Glock Store, glockstore.com. So here we go. Here's the Morning Rundown for Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. Number one, Donald Trump held a campaign-style rally in Pennsylvania last night. We have great clips on it. The crowds in the freezing cold were big, big, big. No surprise. They were huge, some might say. You'll love hearing what Donald Trump had to say last night if you missed it. Number two, yesterday, the Supreme Court heard a campaign finance case, and the weaselly Democrat attorney Mark Elias tried to make his case. He was utterly skewered by Justice Clarence Thomas. We actually have that clip. Number three, speaking of judges, this is fascinating. So Andy Ogles, congressman from the 5th District of Tennessee, put out a press statement calling out half a dozen Nashville judges. That would be Nashville, these were the Circuit Court General Sessions judges, part of the Tennessee state system in Nashville, called them out because they let this alleged Somali alleged rapist of a woman who died shortly after you raped her, let this guy off the hook before he went out to commit more crimes. He'd been before the courts half a dozen times, and there were half a dozen Nashville, Davidson County judges who let him go. Really? Why did they let this Somali immigrant go? I don't even know if he's illegal or not. Could be. So Congressman Ogles brought this to the attention of the world. Now the judges are mad. Why are they mad? Well, you're creating a security problem for me. Whine, whine, whine. But, we've got a problem with judges. There's no question about it. In blue cities and blue states, if you are an illegal alien in the United States, either convicted of a crime or charged with a crime, you get all sorts of special privileges from blue city judges and blue state judges. But if you're just an average, normal American citizen, oh no, they don't give you any of the benefit of the doubt. So there you go with that. Tom Pappert will join us in hour 2 to talk about that. Number 4, Steve Cortez, our buddy Steve Cortez, League of American Workers. He's been doing these polls. He's got a terrific poll that we're going to talk about in hour 2. And it's about why is it that 18 to 25-year-olds are liking socialism? What's going on with that? Is it that they are, that entranced with socialism? Or is it they look at the system that they're in and they realize they don't have the kinds of upward mobility opportunities that they were promised? Well, Steve Cortez will be with us in hour 2 to talk about that. Number 5, the one, the only, Sean Farash will join us, the very best Trump impersonator in the world. He will join us in hour 3. So much to talk about. A couple of things I want to talk about. Mostly the rally last night. Trump was in great form, and he was going after Ilhan Omar, called her an illegal alien. Look, I'm all in favor of vetting now that they're here and have been here for like 3 decades and are in the process of destroying Minnesota and any place where they arrive. I'm very interested in revisiting whether or not all these Somali immigrants belong in this country. I think not. That's my view. So there you go. That is the morning rundown for Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. Brought to you by our good friends at the Glock Store. Lenny McGill, CEO and founder. I'm sure you got a chance to take advantage of the great Black Friday prices last month. But if you didn't, don't worry. The Christmas sales are right around the corner, and they will be huge, phenomenal, great, fantastic. And of course, I'll let you know as soon as they start. But if you're looking for an excuse to visit Glockstore.com right now, I've got a great one for you. As you know, Lenny McGill is not only known as that Glock guy, he's also known as the Glock giveaway guy. And for December, they've doubled down. Go to Glockstore.com, buy a tactical Christmas tree sticker or patch, or a red dot reindeer sticker or patch, and you're automatically entered to win either a G45 or a G47, both nicely equipped, including with Vortex optics. Or go to Glockstore.com/VTGG. That's for Vortex 2-gun giveaway, and get the complete details, including the no purchase entry instructions. That's from my good friend Lenny McGill, and this month's Vortex 2 Glock giveaway sweepstakes only at Glockstore.com. So there you go. Okay. As a lead up to Phil Klein, who will be with us in the next segment, leading legal expert, former attorney general for the state of Kansas, professor of law at Liberty University. Here is the inquiry or the inquisition of the weaselly Democrat attorney Mark Elias by the great Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas on this election lawsuit that was before the Supreme Court yesterday. Here's the audio. You'll love this.
Thank you, Counsel. Justice Thomas?
Just so I'm clear, is there any First Amendment interest in coordinated expenditures?
Your Honor, I think that there is an interest, a First Amendment interest in coordinated expenditures in 2 regards. Number 1, there is an interest anytime any entity or person wishes to make a contribution to a political committee, they are expressing First Amendment speech. They are engaged in First Amendment speech. Buckley said that is satisfied by allowing them to contribute. So essentially, the speech is in the first dollar. It is in showing support for that candidate, and that's why the contribution limits could be $3,500, because the idea to contribution limit candidates, because though the donor is engaged in First Amendment activity, engaged in First Amendment speech, it is essentially symbolic speech. It's the act of giving money. So that's number 1. Number 2, I think this case would be a very different one if the as-applied challenge, first of all, if it was an as-applied challenge, but second, if it was an as-applied challenge where what the party wanted was its own speech, and it wanted to coordinate that speech with the candidate. That would pose a very different case, and there would be different considerations on how that could be limited, which is why in 1996, the brief of the Democratic Party went to what the scope of coordination was, that there should be less of a sweep of what is considered coordinated. But if you're saying, is there First Amendment speech with respect to paying the bills of a campaign so that the campaign staff stayed at a hotel, it is just in the act of making the donation. It's just in the act of making the in-kind contribution.
I still don't understand what you're saying. If the party coordinates with the candidate and pays the bill, is that speech, or does that have a First Amendment protection, or is it simply, as you say, a bill-paying exercise?
It is speech. It is speech, and under Buckley, what it
so
is
Elias
treated,
is repeating himself on this. We'll get more in the next segment from the great Phil Klein, professor of law at Liberty University, on that topic. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. We'll be back after this.
Attorney General Miyares and John Fredericks talk about skill games.
They're unregulated slot machines.
They pop up in 7-Elevens in every corner of Virginia.
The General Assembly has spoken on this.
Skill games.
These things are illegal.
It's the Wild Wild West. Fights break out. Robberies increase.
Skill games.
They prey on the less fortunate.
I say it's a tax on the poor.
They're breaking the law.
My job is to enforce the law. These machines are not allowed.
Enforce the law and get them out of there.
When you see skill games, call the local sheriff.
These things are illegal.
Paid for by Churchill Downs.
The math is simple. Every dollar we waste on unnecessary federal supervision is a dollar we can't use to fight violent crime. The Safer Supervision Act cuts bureaucratic waste and frees up law enforcement resources to protect families from serious threats. Law enforcement officers across the country and Republicans in Congress agree this is a smarter way to improve public safety. Stop the waste, protect our communities, fix federal supervision. Visit safersupervision.com to help. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
Attention construction pros. Purple Wave Auction brings quality equipment to your fingertips. Join our bi-weekly online auctions featuring dozers, excavators, loaders, and more. We provide detailed listings, photos, and seller contact info. Inspect online or in person. With our no reserve policy, every item sells to the highest bidder. Visit purplewave.com today and see why informed builders choose Purple Wave. Transparent processes, real deals. Your next great purchase awaits. purplewave.com.
Is your pet ready for some pawsome fun? At Creekside Pet Hotel in Kennesaw, every day is a tail-wagging adventure. Whether they're romping with friends in day camp, enjoying a staycation in our cozy boarding, or getting pampered in our luxury spa, we make sure every furry guest gets the royal treatment. Happy pets, wagging tails, and the best care. What more could they ask for? Book your pet's perfect getaway today at creeksidepethotel.com or give us a call at 770-422-4700.
My Patriot Supply, America's most trusted survival food company, wishes you and yours a very Merry Christmas. As our gift to you, we've got an amazing deal on survival food kits. Buy one, gift two. That's right, for a limited time, when you grab our best-selling 4-week emergency food kit, we'll include 2 one-week kits free to hand out as gifts. That's 4 weeks of emergency food for you, and 2 ready-to-give gifts for anyone on your list who's into preparedness, or anyone who needs a nudge in that direction. But they're only available for a limited time. Grab yours at mypatriotsupply.com and give the gift of food security this Christmas. With 2,000 calories per day, 16 delicious meal and snack varieties, and up to 25-year shelf life, it's no wonder our 4-week food kit is the best-selling emergency food supply of all time. But the buy one, gift two Christmas special won't last long. So claim yours now at mypatriotsupply.com. That's mypatriotsupply.com.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
We are joined on our Zoom Newsmaker line right now by a very good friend, professor of law at Liberty University, former attorney general for the state of Kansas, one of the leading experts on the Supreme Court in the country, the one, the only Phil Klein. Phil, good morning. Yesterday, 2 hours of oral arguments before the Supreme Court on a case called National Republican Senatorial Committee v. Federal Election Commission. The issue was, is it a violation of the First Amendment to limit expenditures made by political parties in support of candidates of their party? What can you tell us about this argument, Phil Klein?
Well, essentially what Congress did, Michael, is in passing various campaign finance reform measures, it severely restricted the ability of a political party. First, it limited its contributions, the amount that could be contributed. And secondly, it prohibited some coordination. So in other words, it couldn't spend money on a campaign, a specific campaign, in coordination and cooperation with the candidate. And so these are uncoordinated expenditures, and there are limits on how much coordination can be done. So this case challenges those limits, saying it's a violation of the First Amendment and free expression. And the interchange was quite fascinating, particularly between Justice Thomas and Justice Elias. Not Justice Elias, but the attorney that was arguing for the maintenance of these limits. And you played that interchange, I think, just
we did, yeah, just
on.
now, yeah. So
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say a similar case came up in 2001, Federal Election Commission v. Colorado Republican Federal Campaign, and the limits were upheld in a 5-4 vote. But guess who dissented? Clarence Thomas.
Yeah, and Thomas had some pretty tough questions that Mr. Elias. Well, here's how Mr. Elias answered. Yes, there's a First Amendment right in this coordination, but it is as strong as the state could say, yeah, you can express yourself, but you have to be in a cave wearing a gag and on your mouth, and you can only hum your favorite song for your candidate. In other words, the protection is not there. He says it's in the first cent or the first dollar that you give. You have the symbolic right to give towards a candidate. But after that, the state can limit all your expression. That's basically what his argument was.
So I don't understand this limitation on parties. I mean, a party is aligned with the candidate of that party. It doesn't make logical sense to me to prohibit them from coordinating expenditures with the candidate of their party. Well, what am I missing there, Phil?
Well, you're not missing anything. And in fact, this is one of the concerns that the courts addressed. What has happened is a couple of things. First of all, there are limits on the party getting involved. At the same time, the Supreme Court in a previous case said that people have a right to spend in an unlimited fashion independently of the parties and the campaigns to support or express opinions regarding elections. So what that did is it shifted all of the funding away from political parties, which are generally very much more accountable to the electorate, to individuals, to citizens, than private organizations and billionaires. And it shifted that power to fund political campaigns through nonprofits and through independent expenditures of billionaires. So you had this growth of super PACs, which are independent of this political process and accountability. You have billionaires giving to nonprofits, which are really engaged in partisan activities under the guise of nonpartisan
The other
effort.
thing, too,
you saw
is,
that me.
Yeah, the other thing, too,
ahead.
about these independent expenditures, they are, wink, wink, supposed to be uncoordinated, right? You can't coordinate. And yet, the practicality of it seems to me that there is all sorts of under-the-radar coordination between these independent expenditure groups and campaigns, just not at the level where they're prosecuted for violating the law. Do I have
Honestly,
that right?
Yeah, that's right. There's no way to limit it. Look, you've got a major United States Senate campaign. There are newspaper stories every day about internal and external polls relating to that campaign and that election, what the key issues are. All you got to do is look at what the candidate is saying, and you know what their emphasis is.
Really?
And then you can design an ad that mirrors what the candidate is saying. It just can't say vote for. It can say call the other guy because he ought to be arrested, he's a bum, or call the congressman you support and say he's a hero because he's done great things. That's the only thing that you have to do to show that you're not coordinating. So that is a joke. These billionaires are now using, really they're being subsidized by middle and lower income Americans through the tax exemption by giving to nonprofits, and using those nonprofits, use that money for the political purposes of those billionaires. That's where the money is flowing. That's why the Democratic Party has been radicalized. That's why much of our debate in America has been radicalized, is these billionaires playing with the American political process, made possible by campaign finance limits on parties, and also this flow, well, the nonprofit tax exemption.
Speaking of left-wing billionaires who are promoting far-left ideology, George Soros, who's like now 90-something, didn't he write a famous memo back in 2007 about how to get nonprofits into politics?
Well, actually, he received the memo from John Podesta.
Oh, he received it from Podesta. Got it.
Yes, Podesta wrote the memo to Soros saying to elect Obama in 2008, we need another about $500 million that we're going to flow through these various nonprofits under the guise of voter turnout efforts that are going to directly contact Democrat-leaning voters and turn them out. Here's all the organizations. The check was written. And from that time to now, billions upon billions of dollars have come through from foreign interests and billionaires into the American political process and into through nonprofits. In fact, Michael, I think I've mentioned this to you. My daughter is a city council member in Lynchburg, that a Swiss billionaire funds an organization in Washington, D.C. that flowed $60,000 into a ward race in a city election.
Yeah.
For her.
He's not American. This Weiss guy, he's not an American citizen either, is he?
No. And this is all made possible because the money's going to find a way. The political parties are more accountable. The money is reported. It is made known.
Yeah.
This nonprofit stuff, it's not known. It's not seen. They get a tax exemption. They make the American public subsidize their political play. It is a mess. But the Democratic Party has profited very generously from this structure, and they want it to continue.
So it's hard to read the tea leaves sometimes on this. I note, I'm looking at SCOTUS blog here right now by Amy Howe. She doesn't know how this is going to turn out, and she never predicts, but she said, Thomas is clearly, I think, going to vote that these coordinated expenditures are limits are a violation of the First Amendment. The question is, what will Gorsuch and Amy Coney Barrett do in this? Yeah,
that's right.
Amy Coney Barrett asked one question. Gorsuch was silent, which was kind of interesting because the previous day, I don't know if you saw this case on the president's ability to fire commissioners at independent agencies. He can't do it under that 1935 case, Humphrey's Executors. But did you hear Gorsuch skewer the leftist attorney who's trying to stick with that the president can't fire these guys? Oh, it was brutal.
But I think the court, through reversing Chevron, which related to deference to administrative decisions, and now reversing Humphrey's Executor, or restoring a proper balance of power.
We think they'll reverse Humphrey's Executor, don't you think?
I think so, because there is a fourth branch of government that arguably is the most powerful branch, and it is not accountable to anybody right now.
No, not at all. But I guess
that's the administrative branch.
So this case, though, I think the court will go along with Thomas's view that the coordinated expenditure limits between political parties and candidates of their party is a violation of the First Amendment. I mean, it just seems logical to me. So I think.
Well,
go ahead.
He put Elias in a pickle. I mean, Elias was claiming there's a First Amendment right, but it is in effect worthless because the state can limit it down to the first penny.
Yeah, and that's a ridiculous argument. You know, this Mark Elias guy with his democracy docket, funded by all these left-wing nonprofits, has had a huge footprint, but he's not that good. I don't think. I mean, I think he seemed to be second rate in his arguments. Your thoughts?
Well, actually, the positions of the left on this are not that good.
Yeah. Good
It's
point.
hard to argue you have free speech, but the state can put a muzzle on you and you can cry out a penny, and that's proper.
Free speech for 1 cent, but not for 2 cents, right?
Right.
I mean, that's absolutely crazy. Phil Klein, what do you? When will we hear the decision of the court on this election finance decision?
Well, probably during the spring or summer.
Yeah.
And I think part of the key is how much Roberts is willing to work towards a consensus overruling or striking down those limits.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. It makes it fascinating to report, and that's why your analysis here with us, Phil Klein, is so important. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right. Back with Donald Trump on the campaign trail after this.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation. Did you ever stop and think, why do the wealthy pay less taxes than we do? One reason, they take full advantage of the IRS tax code. Today's tax code is over 2 million pages. Who can read that? Remember the 2016 debate with Hillary Clinton? When asked why he doesn't pay more taxes, President Trump had the perfect answer. He said, if you don't like the current tax code, change it. I follow the very laws that you wrote. That's where Julio Gonzalez and his company, Tax Engineered Services, comes in. Julio's team looks at your taxes after they're done, but before you file them with the IRS. He doesn't get between you and your accountant. He reviews your taxes, makes his recommendations, and only gets 5 to 10% of what he saved you. No money up front, no cost. It's tax literacy for MAGA. He also sees what grants you may qualify for. For more information, text ETS to the number 26786. That's ETS to 26786. Text now.
What if you had a plan to build income outside your job? At Lifestyles Unlimited, you'll learn how people are investing in real estate to grow their income and make smarter financial choices one property at a time. Right now, join us for just $297. That's a savings of $443 off our real estate education program. Text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Is your pet ready for some pawsome fun? At Creekside Pet Hotel in Kennesaw, every day is a tail-wagging adventure. Whether they're romping with friends in day camp, enjoying a staycation in our cozy boarding, or getting pampered in our luxury spa, we make sure every furry guest gets the royal treatment. Happy pets, wagging tails, and the best care. What more could they ask for? Book your pet's perfect getaway today at creeksidepethotel.com or give us a call at 770-422-4700.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of Glockstore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at Glockstore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at Glockstore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
My fellow Americans, I have to tell you about my good friends at D.T. McCall & Sons. They have furniture and appliances and a lot more. They've been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years, and they're not going to rip you off. No hidden charges, no delivery charges, no charges for all of the crazy things. These are sick people at the lumber yards. These are very sick people. They charge you for cords and hoses and haul off. They charge you for all of these things. They call them hidden charges. It's the type of surprise that you don't want to see. It's like an October surprise, but it's worse. D.T. McCall & Sons, they're not going to do that. They're great people. They're going to give you a great deal. With locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, D.T. McCall & Sons will give you the deal of your life. Check them out today or go to dtmccalls.com.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Well, Donald Trump got the old gang back together again in Pennsylvania last night, a campaign-style rally, and it was classic Trump, I got to tell you. I kind of liked it because, the deal is, people have been saying, oh, Trump's around, making peace deals around the world, but affordability. The Democrats are saying affordability. Of course, they caused the affordability problem, not just in inflation, but also in the debacle of the healthcare system, which started back when they passed the Unaffordable Care Act in 2010. Now, Trump in rare form. Let's see this rally, hugely attended yesterday in, I think, Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania. Clip 2, he has a few words to say about third world immigrants. Clip 2.
If you don't share our values, contribute to our economy, and assimilate into our society, then we don't want you in our country. We don't want you. Ilan Omar and the people from Somalia, they hate our country. And they think we're stupid people, which actually, when they allow that to happen, they are. That's headed by Governor Walz, one of the dumber people around. No, but think of it. He's given not like peanuts, billions. These are people that don't work in their own country. Their own country's a failure. They have no money there. And yet they come into our country and steal tens of billions of dollars. How stupid are we to allow that to happen? They can't earn 10 cents in their country. They come over here and rob. Are we that easy? Are we that easy to allow a thing like that to happen? That's up to you.
Yeah, I think some people are that stupid and that easy, and most of them are Democrats in blue states, particularly in Minnesota. Speaking of Tim Walz, I don't know, this guy, if he could do something weak and stupid on your list, he does. I think he gave a speech in California the other day, and he said, bring me more Somalians. Goodness gracious. We talked about this yesterday. The Somalians are from a failed country that don't share our values, that are basically, they've been a land where the culture supports grifting and stealing and theft. Yeah, I've been reporting about the failure of Somalian culture to integrate with American culture for, I don't know, 13, 14 years, starting off in Breitbart when I was writing about all the Somali criminals that were engaged in theft and sexual assaults, etc. And the courts in Minnesota are, saying, let them off. There's also, we'll get to this in our next hour. The courts in Nashville, blue city in a red state, half a dozen judges let this Somali, who's, and I think I don't know if he's legal or illegal. We'll have to look into that. But a Somali raped a woman who died, raped her on the street. That guy had been in front of Nashville courts half a dozen times, and half a dozen separate judges let the guy off the hook. It's unbelievable. So, yeah, stupid people and stupid judges who are culturally suicidal in blue cities and blue states. That's where the country is right now. And I'm all with Donald Trump. If you can't assimilate this in this country, we got to ship them out. And how many Somalis are there? And are there any Somalis who aren't involved in grift? It doesn't look like there are that many, the vast majority of them. And say what you will about it, they come from a failed country. I'm in favor of re-vetting them all. And if they are, if there's any flaw in their immigration status, deport them. We need fewer Somalis in this country, not more. All right. Trump also was on a roll blasting Joe Biden. Let's hear that clip 3.
But under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000 a year. Under Trump, the typical factory worker has already seen their wages increase by more than $1,300, and that's in just a few months. And for construction workers, it's $1,800 up versus $3,500 down, and I think their number is wrong. It's much lower than that. For miners, do we love miners? I love miners. I don't know how they do it, going 10,000 feet under the ground, and they wouldn't trade jobs with me. If I gave them a beautiful, magnificent penthouse in the middle of Manhattan, where I used to live, if I gave them the most beautiful penthouse, they wouldn't take it. They'd rather go 10,000 feet underground and dig. That's what they want. For miners, their wages went up $3,300.
Yeah, Pennsylvania, obviously. Pennsylvania, West Virginia, big coal mining states. That's why you're seeing that. Okay, before I get back to the Trump rally in Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania last night, on the issue of immigrants and illegal immigrants and what they're contributing to the country. Here's an immigrant to the country, legal citizen, Elon Musk, talking about what is expected of migrants to the United States. Clip 4.
Well, let's look at, Ilhan Omar, who was voted into Congress by, a large group of people from Somalia who are in Minnesota, which is really far from Somalia. Or Mamdani, who was voted to be mayor, but but by a majority of people who are not born in America. That's my understanding, at least. And then California is a big time situation. So I don't know. We just don't want to turn into a communist hellhole, basically.
Yeah, there's another word that he was going to say. You know what it was. He's right. Now, Trump really went after Ilhan Omar. There's a word we can't use here that we hear about 10 seconds in, so we're gonna mute that word. But his argument about Ilhan Omar is very good. Here we go. Clip 5, Donald Trump.
Do we have any individuals from Somalia in the group? Please raise your hand. That's for Minnesota, That's called the Great Big Minnesota Scam with one of the dumbest governors ever in history. I love this Elon Omar, whatever the hell her name is, with the little turban. I love her. She comes in. She's always complaining. She comes from a country where, I mean, it's considered about the worst country in the world, right? They have no military, they have no nothing, they have no parliament. They don't know what the hell the word parliament means. They have nothing. They have no police. They police themselves. They kill each other all the time. I love it. She comes to our country, and she's always complaining about the Constitution allows me to do this. We ought to get her the hell out. She married her brother in order to get in, right? She married her brother. Can you imagine if Donald Trump married his sister? Beautiful. She's a beautiful person. If I married my sister to get my citizenship, do you think I'd last for about 2 hours, or would it be something less than that? She married her brother to get in. Therefore, she's here illegally. She should get the hell out. Throw her the hell out. She does nothing but complain.
Okay, so actually, I think the president had a little bit off there. I think the claim is, and I think there's a lot of evidence for it. I haven't looked into it a great deal, but the claim is that she married her brother in order for him to be able to come to the United States. That's what I think the claim is. Either way, I mean, a huge violation. Now, how she got into the country may have also been fraudulent when she came in at 12 years of age, but that's another story. I do think, I'm all in favor of this. I don't know about you. I think the Department of Homeland Security should begin to investigate her entry into the country. And if she didn't dot the I's and cross the T's properly, I'm in favor of beginning the deportation hearings, even though I think she went through the process. And it's a long story on her. But she's not what we need in America. All right, what do we need in America? Well, Scott Besson is what we need, according to Trump. Clip 15.
So now, and we have our savior in this room. His name is Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Besson. He's right there. Because that very handsome man, by the way, if you're picking the Secretary of the Treasury, is he like the perfect guy for a movie? He's made for the movie. Stand up, Scott. Look at him. No, he's central casting. He's central casting. But you don't, under that beautiful exterior is a killer. And here's what happened. He is in charge of the investigation of Somalia and the billions of dollars they have robbed from Minnesota, right? I hope you do your job. I hope you're not one of these Republicans where something comes up and they don't do what they should do because they're nicer people. You know, they're much nicer people than the Democrats, but Scott's actually not a nice person at all.
Look, I think it's time for a whole of a government investigation into all Somalian grift in Minnesota, in Maine, all across the country. And when we come back, more on Somalia. Listen, we're going to translate what Ilhan Omar says about the role of Somalians in the United States of America. Back after this.
Is a record player the best way to listen to music? Of course not. So why are you still taking vitamins in pill form that haven't been upgraded since the 1930s? Even if you don't have trouble swallowing, most vitamins in pill form can't be absorbed very well. It's time to upgrade to the pill-free future of vitamins. Advanced nutrition company, Healthy Cell, created a patent-pending ingestible gel that is clinically proven to have 265% the absorption rate of tablets. These physician-formulated supplements come in a small gel pack. You tear off the top and shoot it down. You can also mix it in water. They taste great, they're convenient on the go, and they're more natural too, without chemical binders, fillers, and coatings. go to HealthyCell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of any product. That's HealthyCell.com. HealthyCell.com.
Cold weather is here, and it's only getting colder. When you want instant whole room warmth, you go with Eden Pure, a trusted name for years on my show. Now they've done it again with the Eden Pure Gen 40 Plus infrared heater. This powerful compact unit gives you fast, even heat you can feel in seconds. Infrared heat warms you directly, not just the air around you, and it doesn't dry out the air. It's quiet, compact, and safe with multiple built-in safety shutoffs, and it heats up to 1,000 square feet. Perfect for the living room, bedroom, or office. And right now, Eden Pure is thanking our listeners. The Gen 40 Plus normally sells for $224, but Eden Pure is giving our VIP listeners an additional $50 off, bringing it to just $174. That's right, only $174 for state-of-the-art infrared heater. Now, this is a limited time offer with a strict limit of 3, and supplies are moving fast. So go to EdenPureDeals.com, use promo code Godzilla50. EdenPureDeals.com, promo code Godzilla50.
Attention all WV The Torch and WV Sports Station followers. You're not going to want to miss this Wednesday's showing of an exclusive interview with WV baseball coach Steve Sabins. He'll be highlighting how his team is preparing for another visit to the NCAA Regionals as they look to bring home the program's first national championship. That will be airing at 12:05, and then immediately after, Renegade Rant, which yours truly will be a part of. Remember, that's 12:05, only on WV The Torch and all affiliate stations.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby tackle today's biggest issues with a New York state of mind.
We are going to talk about dirty money.
This is a total failure of the media, the journalists, and the Democratic Party.
Treat yourself to a bite of the apple.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
Cats and Cosby, weekdays 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the stations of the John Fredericks Media Network.
And those are the big headlines of the day.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like The Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com, listen to Michael Patrick Leahy, and make America great again.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Okay, so what's really going on with Somalians in America and those elected officials who rely upon the Somali vote, right? And we don't know how much of that vote is legal, how much of that is illegal. Well, Ilhan Omar, who represents part of Minneapolis, which has a very heavy Somalian population. She, of course, was born in Somalia, came to the United States at the age of 12 under suspect circumstances, may or may not have married her brother in order to get him to legally enter the United States of America. That Ilhan Omar, and she hates America. There's no question about it. But what's her real agenda? Well, a local television station got this video of Ilhan Omar speaking to a Somalian audience in Somalia. Now, we're going to play it and pause it frequently. You'll hear Ilhan Omar talking in Somalian, and then I will tell you what the English translation, according to this group at, I think it's Veed.io, says the translation is. So let's just play the Somalian right now. Okay, so the weird language. Here's what that means. My answer to Somalians was that the U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do. How do you like that? All right, let's continue with more of Ilhan Omar telling the truth about what she really wants to accomplish.
waa kalsoonidaas inaan isku qabno annaga Soomaali haddii aan nahay waddankan annaga ku nool waddankan waddankii aan annaga tax ka dhiibna waaye waa waddankii gabar idinka dhalatayne ee Congress ka fadhiso.
We Somalians must have confidence that we can sleep in comfort, knowing I am here to protect the interests of Somalians. And we pay taxes just like everybody else. It just goes on. Let's continue a little bit more here.
Intii aniga aan Congress joogo waddanka Soomaaliya biyaheeda dad kaleeta iyo badeeda dad kale ma qaadanayaan.
I will make sure that Somalia will never be in danger. Who does she represent? It's very clear in her mind that she represents Somalian interests. And by the way, Nancy Pelosi put her on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Are you kidding me? Now, a political beneficiary of this Somalian craziness is Governor Tim Walz. And they've got all these fraud problems in Minneapolis, billions of dollars of fraud, Somalian fraud. Where was he yesterday? Well, he was in Seattle, Washington. And he was there helping the governor of Washington, Bob Ferguson, raise money. Here's the story from the Seattle Times. At a big event, 1,000 people there. And Walz was a headliner. Here's what the Seattle Times reported happened last night in Somalia. Both governors vowed to defend immigrant and refugee communities in their states, including Somalis who have been this is the Seattle Times, who have been targeted with slurs and threats of deportation. No, not slurs, just statements of fact. Walz said Minnesota, quote, is quote, incredibly proud, end quote, to have more immigrants and refugees per capita than any other state. Quote, and right now, our neighbors are being demonized. Our neighbors are being terrorized. Our neighbors are being picked up off the streets, end quote, he said. Walz has been under a scrutiny and attack from Trump and other Republicans over schemes involving some Somalis in Minnesota who defrauded social services of more than $1 billion. It's not some Somalis. I mean, 87 people have been charged and 78 of them are Somalis? It says, look, we've got total fraud going on in that community, and Walz wants more of them. Walz, according to this article, Walz said he won't back down, and that here's the money quote. Walz said he won't back down, and that in Minnesota, quote, instead of demonizing our Somali community, we're going to do more to welcome more in, end quote. That's it. He wants more Somalis who, they don't pay taxes in the way that at the level the rest of the population does. It's a gigantic grift machine, and he politically benefits from it. And we're now, as a country, with 17% foreign-born, not assimilating. We've had all these clips of Somalis. They're not assimilating. They want to take over the United States of America. Well, they've taken over Minneapolis. They've taken over Minnesota. This is exactly the wrong thing to do. Look, he's going to keep pushing it. I think where we're going to go on this is you're about to see a conflict between blue states that are encouraging illegal immigrants to come in, to stay, to engage in fraud and get away with it, versus the federal government that wants to enforce the rule of law. Hey, we'll have more when we come back. Tom Pappert has a great story about whiny Nashville judges who don't like being called out because they let a Somali immigrant off the hook. And that Somali immigrant allegedly raped a woman here on a street in Nashville, and she died shortly thereafter. Back with Tom Pappert after this.
Ponder this. Most of us are familiar with social media influencers. You know, people that claim expertise on some probably irrelevant topic. Many hours are wasted following people online who do not add an ounce of value to our lives. There is only one influencer who matters, and you should be following him and his messages every day. He holds the keys to our peace. He shows us how to live lives of meaning. He is there to help us carry our daily crosses. He is Jesus Christ, and he is the influencer extraordinaire. Are you one of his followers? Or are you wasting time with useless information that will not bring peace and love to your life? Ask the Lord each day to provide you with spiritual influence that will change your life forever. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Is your fur baby looking a bit rough? Transform them from shaggy to snazzy with Befur and After Pet Grooming in Marietta, Georgia. Their top-notch groomers pamper your pups with baths, custom cuts, and nail trims that'll have them strutting like show dogs. From mobile grooming vans to their cozy salon, they'll make your pet spa day a tail-wagging blast. Book now at BefurandAfterGrooming.com. Befur and After, where pets go from grr to glamorous.
John Fredericks loves his radio and TV audience, but did you know how to follow the Godzilla of Truth wherever you go? Download the John Fredericks Radio Show app to listen live nationwide. For the daily chit-chat, Trucking the Truth, download the Getter app and join the morning fun on Getter Live from 6 to 10 a.m. Follow John Fredericks on Getter, Truth Social, or Twitter at...
This is WJFN, Goochland, Bonaire, Chester, and WJFV, Portsmouth.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rhett Thomason. A federal judge in San Francisco is ordering the Trump administration to end the deployment of California National Guard troops in Los Angeles. Another ruling of note from a different court. A judge says secret grand jury transcripts from Jeffrey Epstein's 2019 sex trafficking case can be made public. The judge joins two other judges in granting the Justice Department request to unseal the investigative material. President Trump says his top priority is to make America affordable again. He talked about that at a big rally last night in northeast Pennsylvania.
Facing criticism over the high cost of living, the president used his visit to Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania, to blame Joe Biden and Democrats for the affordability crisis.
The Democrats go out, prices are too high. Yeah, they're too high because they caused them to be too high. But now they're coming down.
He acknowledged there's more work to do in improving the economy, even as he defended his tariff policy and pointed to falling gas prices. Greg Clugston, Washington.
The president is expected to hold a series of campaign-style rallies in advance of next year's crucial midterm elections. The strategy is to get the president out there in hopes that will get more pro-Trump voters to the polls. Miami will be getting its first Democrat mayor in several decades.
Democrat Eileen Higgins has won the Miami mayor's race, defeating Republican Emilio Gonzalez, who was endorsed by President Donald Trump.
Well, we did it!
Higgins will be the first woman to lead Miami. With nearly all the votes counted from Tuesday's voting, Higgins led Republican Gonzalez by about 19 percentage points. Audio courtesy of WSVN. I'm Donna Warder.
Later today, the Fed will be announcing its latest decision on interest rates. Ahead of that, the Dow is up 100 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-366-6161. That's 800-366-6161. 800-366-6161.
Members of Europe's main human rights body, the Council of Europe, are meeting today to review what's become a thorny, politically charged issue in the EU.
The meeting of 46 states comes after growing tension over how human rights laws apply to migration, but also behind-the-scenes momentum to make changes. Officials at the Council of Europe, the body that oversees the court, believe a political declaration could be reached by the spring over how human rights laws should apply in a far more restrictive way to people smugglers and failed migrants. That deal would aim to make it harder for people to resist being sent home and potentially easier for governments to set up so-called returns hubs for those with nowhere else safe to go.
The BBC's Dominic Cascione. 2 four-story buildings have collapsed in Fez, Morocco, killing 19 people. State news media reports the buildings housed 8 families. 16 people were injured. News and analysis, townhall.com. It's a new ski season in the Green Mountain State. Rescue teams are increasingly relying on social media.
A TikTok video has influenced skiers chasing fresh powder tracks in the back country of Vermont. That means inexperienced resort goers are skiing out of bounds, finding themselves lost in the woods and in need of rescue. John Wasey is the chief at Stowe Mountain Rescue.
Stowe Mountain Rescue responded to a 911 call for 2 lost skiers. One was a skier, one was a snowboarder, 2 19-year-olds.
The rescue now sees around 8 missions to help multiple lost skiers per season, compared to around 3 only 5 years ago. I'm Haya Panjwani.
South Korea will require advertisers to label their ads made with AI. There's been a surge of deceptive promotions featuring fabricated experts or deep-faked celebrities endorsing food or pharmaceutical products on social media. More on these stories, townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We are joined on our Zoom Newsmaker line right now by the Dow Prize winner for Best Local Journalism in the country, Tom Pappert. Tom, welcome. And, of course, you won that prize for your reporting, along with yours truly and Christina Botteri, on the Maryland man, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, in his traffic stop, where the Biden-era FBI let him off. Now we've got this story that our own Caitlin Hausler wrote yesterday about Congressman Andy Ogles and the whiny General Sessions Court judges that take exception when they are criticized. The headline, Nashville judges demand extra security after Representative Andy Ogles exposes Democrat judiciary's release of migrant rape suspect. I think you wrote about this when it happened. The suspect, alleged rapist, Muhammad A. Muhammad. He's a migrant from Somalia. Do we know if he's legal or illegal, Tom?
Well, we understand, thanks to Andy Ogles, he's really been doing a lot of work on this case. He's reported that this individual, Muhammad, is a legal Somali immigrant who was brought over as a refugee during the Obama administration.
Ha. Well, yeah, I think these are the kinds of people that they brought over to Minneapolis, ruined Minneapolis, Columbus, Ohio, in the process of ruining Columbus, Ohio. They're all over Maine, ruining Maine, engaging in criminal activity and fraudulent activity. But it's a half a dozen judges in the General Sessions Court here in Nashville, Tennessee. And Andy names them. This guy, Muhammad A. Muhammad, who was arrested when he was in the process, allegedly, of raping a woman, a 34-year-old woman, who was on the steps of a church in Nashville, and he was arrested at that time. She later died, but he's been charged with rape, I think multiple charges of rape. He had been, is it a dozen times he'd been before the courts in Nashville, and half a dozen Democrat judges, General Sessions Court judges in Nashville, let the guy go. Do I have the facts right on that, Tom?
Well, you have it exactly right, except there's one more thing that could be added, and that is multiple of these judges determined that he was incompetent to stand trial. This is the little get out of jail free card that people have been exploiting in Tennessee for years. It just changed, thank the Lord, with the passing of Jillian's Law earlier this year. And there is much speculation that now, thanks to this law, he will not be able to go to an insane asylum or whatever they call it in 2025 if he is convicted of this latest offense.
You know, what's interesting, half a dozen judges he was brought before on other criminal charges, and they all let him off. That is stunning to me. And
by the way, I just wanted to add, these charges range from like indecent exposure to DUI to everything you could imagine that is somebody you do not want out on the streets. It wasn't just for shoplifting, let's say.
Yeah. And by the way, so these judges are upset because they were named by Andy Ogles, and their pictures were there. I have some news for you. If you make a bad judicial decision and people don't like it, there's a First Amendment right to criticize judges. Apparently, they don't understand that. But go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say what Andy Ogles wrote that they have a problem with is this. Every judge and prosecutor who let him off the hook was a Democrat. As long as local liberals are running things in Middle Tennessee, we are at war. The state should impeach all of the judges, send the guard to Nashville. So specifically, they are upset he used the words, "we are at war," in connection to their names. But the very next sentence, they said that this is the language of violence, and they seem to be suggesting that Ogles wants to do them harm or somebody else to do them harm. I don't think anybody wants to see that happen. And he specifically said the state should impeach all of the judges. There's no call to violence here, as these judges seem to insinuate. No, it's a call for impeachment. And if they view an end to their career as violence, well, I question how they got on the bench in the first place.
Okay, and so we'll get into that, their whiny letter, where they, by the way, in their letter, did they name the alleged rapist at question here, Muhammad A. Muhammad? No, they did not. But what's interesting about it, and we're going to name them, and they're welcome to come on in, because, you know, I have such a friendly relationship with state court judges in Nashville. Right now, these are General Sessions Court judges. They're not Chancery Court judges like the one who wanted to put me in jail for exercising my First Amendment rights, Judge Leahy Miles. And she didn't do it, and she didn't have any cause to do it. But that was, gosh, what, a year and a half ago? But the judges' names are, they're all Democrats: Judge Jim Todd, Judge Aaron Holt, Judge Robin Kimbrough Hayes, Judge Linda Jones, Judge Melissa Blackburn, and Judge Rachel Bell. All of them, according to Congressman Ogles, let Muhammad A. Muhammad off the hook. And the letter, it's interesting. What Andy said, they used the hook, "we are at war." Well, who's he talking about being at war with? Not with the judges, but with criminals, right? And now this was the letter that they put out. It's the epitome of these Democrat judges are saying, we're the victims here. That's what they're saying. And they're really kind of manipulating language. I know, shocking that a Democrat judge would manipulate language. But they're manipulating language to claim that somehow they are the ones who are being in trouble. So here's what they said. All 6 of these General Sessions Court judges said, quote, "We stand united in condemning any language or actions that targets judges or any elected officials with threats of violence as a means of expressing political disagreement in light of the numerous acts of political violence witnessed in recent years. The statements made by Mr. Ogles are unacceptable." I mean, you've got to be twisting and turning to turn yourself into a victim based on that. Your thoughts, Tom Pappert?
Well, it's very clear. And again, they're lawyers. They should know this, in my opinion, that Ogles was writing about the results of the mass immigration hypothesis, the experiment that was run by Obama and Biden and even a handful of Republicans here and there, as some evidence that Ogles was in fact referring to the Somali alleged rapist who they let out 6 times. Well, here are some articles, one from the United Nations from just this year, call for urgent action following alarming 80% rise in sexual violence. This is from the Women's Liberation Union. Why has rape become an epidemic in Somali society? This is the Human Rights Watch. Here, rape is normal. A 5-point plan to curtail sexual violence in Somalia. That's from 2014, by the way. 2013, an academic article published by Amnesty International. Somalia, rape and sexual violence in Somalia, an ongoing epidemic. And finally, I've got one from Forbes from 2021. Somalia, sexual violence on the rise. So no, I don't think Andy Ogles was talking about these judges when he said we are at war. I think he was talking about the judges when he said the judges should be impeached. I am guessing that the representative was referring to these new citizens, new refugees and immigrants that have been thrust upon our Midwest and Southern states over the Obama and Biden administrations when he said we are at war.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Hey, Tom, can you stick around? Because in the next segment, we've got more and more and more information about Somali fraud and illegal immigration. We'll hear from Senator Tom Tuberville of Alabama after the break. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. Tom Peppert is with us.
Ponder this, Judgment Day, the day you go before the Lord face to face. For many of us, this day seems like a long way away, and we are told that all of us will be in a better place when we die. What many of us forget is that our God is a God of justice. On Judgment Day, you will stand before the Lord and account for all of your thoughts, words, and actions during your time here on earth. You might be thinking that you're not such a bad dude, you didn't kill anyone, and you went to church every now and then, so you've earned your ticket to heaven. Hold that thought, as the Lord has told us what we need to get through those pearly gates. We must believe in Him, be baptized, follow Him by keeping His commandments, love Him, and love our friends and enemies. It doesn't matter how much knowledge you possess, how many awards or accolades are on your resume, or how much money you have, nor how high you are on the ladder of success. Judgment Day is real, and you are not judged by a jury of your peers. Prepare each day for Judgment Day. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am passionately Catholic.
Is your pet ready for some possum fun? At Creekside Pet Hotel in Kennesaw, every day is a tail-wagging adventure. Whether they're romping with friends in day camp, enjoying a staycation in our cozy boarding, or getting pampered in our luxury spa, we make sure every furry guest gets the royal treatment. Happy pets, wagging tails, and the best care. What more could they ask for? Book your pet's perfect getaway today at creeksidepethotel.com or give us a call at 770-422-4700.
The Katz and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby tackle today's biggest issues with a New York state of mind.
We are going to talk about dirty money.
This is a total failure of the media, the journalists, and the Democratic Party.
Treat yourself to a bite of the apple.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
Katz and Cosby, weekdays 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the stations of the John Fredericks Media Network.
And those are the big headlines of the day.
The math is simple. Every dollar we waste on unnecessary federal supervision is a dollar we can't use to fight violent crime. The Safer Supervision Act cuts bureaucratic waste and frees up law enforcement resources to protect families from serious threats. Law enforcement officers across the country and Republicans in Congress agree this is a smarter way to improve public safety. Stop the waste, protect our communities, fix federal supervision. Visit safersupervision.com to help. Paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
Attention all WV The Torch and W Sports Station followers. You're not going to want to miss this Wednesday's showing of an exclusive interview with WV baseball coach Steve Sabins. He'll be highlighting how his team is preparing for another visit to the NCAA Regionals as they look to bring home the program's first national championship. That will be airing at 12:05, and then immediately after, Renegade Rant, which yours truly will be a part of. Remember, that's 12:05, only on W The Torch and all affiliate stations.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of Glockstore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at Glockstore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at Glockstore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Our guest, the one, the only, Tom Pappert, our lead political reporter at the Tennessee Star and the Star News Network. Tom, just to put a pin on our earlier story, that statement, the whiny statement that we heard, came from all 11 General Sessions Court judges in Nashville-Davidson County, and I think they're all Democrats. But the 6 of them were the 6 who had heard the cases against Muhammad A. Muhammad and let him off for various reasons. So just to be clear, that's the bench. The General Sessions bench of Davidson County unifying against the First Amendment rights of a member of the United States House of Representatives. So there you go.
Well, really misquoting him. I mean, putting words in his mouth. That is a very depressing thought if you are an individual looking at a court case in Davidson County, the state level, and you're going to wind up before one of these General Sessions judges. I think the only hope for a conservative in that situation at this point would be to pull a Jacob Frey and learn some Somali before your first court appearance and speak entirely in a foreign language.
Yeah, and then you'd get all sorts of special privileges, right? Look, there's a theme here, actually, and we'll get to Tommy Tuberville in a minute, but does the rule of law exist, Tom, for conservatives in blue cities and blue states today? That's an interesting question, isn't it? I've been thinking about that a lot because the judges and the legal system are designed to appear to be designed to use the rules to subvert the rule of law. I mean, case in point, I was just thinking about this last night. If you're a conservative and you're in a blue city or a blue state, you're not going to get a fair shake. I mean, I know this personally because a Chancery Court judge here in Nashville, on a specious claim that had no evidence, hauled me into court and threatened me a year and a half ago with contempt of court, and had no evidence whatsoever. And then once it hauled me into court, changed the topic. And I spent a lot of money to bring an extra lawyer in on that particular issue. And I got to tell you, I think if there hadn't been a whole bunch of television cameras in there, I don't know what level of injustice would have happened. Now, it turns out, it didn't happen. She didn't throw me in jail. She had no right to do that. But
I just issued an abysmal decision instead.
Right, which has been appealed, and just kind of ignored the fact that she made a huge mistake in even hauling me in for the very first month. Never. By the way, did I ever get an apology from that judge? I did not.
And as I understand it, the way that the dust settled in that case is she could technically still haul you in today. There was never, okay, Mr. Leahy, you are in the clear now. No, I think that it may correct me if I'm wrong, but that is, and I was going to say, this sounds like the concept you hear online sometimes called anarcho-tyranny, where the law is weaponized against those who are law-abiding, but ineffective or lax at controlling criminal behavior. And that seems to be what's in every single blue city and blue state now, and I don't know how we get out of it except by being very forceful, as we've seen with Andy Ogles. And now we know what happens when you are forceful, when you say Somalians are allegedly raping our people on the streets in front of churches. We are at war. We should impeach these judges. The judges will accuse you of being the violent.
Yeah, and back to the lack of justice in blue states and blue cities right now. Tina Peters is a 70-year-old Gold Star mom who, was railroaded on election charges and is now serving 8 years in a Colorado state prison. And she's not being treated well. I mean, it looks to me like they're really trying to break her. And the other case to look at is Derek Chauvin, right, who got railroaded and is serving, I think, both. I don't know if he's serving state and federal charges. But again, did he get a fair trial? I don't think so. Did Tina Peters get a fair in Minnesota? Did Tina Peters get a fair trial in Colorado? I don't think so. Does anybody other than a Somalia migrant appearing before a General Sessions judge here in Nashville, do they get a fair trial? I'm wondering. Now, part of the problem, it seems to me, has to be this overarching support of more illegal aliens and more third world country migrants coming in. Let's play this clip now of Senator Tommy Tuberville, clip 11. Let's see what he has to say about this.
There's some people come over from some of these countries that want to come here for a better life, and they're going to assimilate and go by the things that we believe in, go by our Constitution. The Muslim group, Steve, this is World War III, okay, and it's going to be on our soil. And it's coming so fast, within 5 or 10 years, it is going to be way out of control. We have a prime example of this, Europe. Europe is gone. And they will have to fight in the streets to get it back. And that's coming. And so we do not want that to happen here. And the people of Alabama, the people of Hoover saw this, and they want to stop it before it really gets started. Don't let the fire start and get out of control. And I'm so proud of what they did.
Yeah, I think he makes a good point. And I think it's pretty clear. Europe is gone. I don't disagree with that. And we can see so many examples of it. It's not just in their weakness in allowing Islamists to come in and overrun the country. You talk about the rule of law. We had a clip of, I'll just describe it here. We won't play the clip. But if you say something on social media and you're in the United Kingdom right now, and somebody's feelings get hurt, they sentence you to 6 months in prison. That just happened. They've sentenced, according to reports, like 12,000 people have been sentenced for social media posts that the leftists and the progressives and the Islamists don't like. That is nuts. Now, speaking of nuts, here's clip 12, fraud, Somali fraud in the state of Maine. Clip 12.
On the back end with, the billing claims that were just not accurate, not adding up, times not adding up, unsure that staff actually, performed the job functions in the home of the clients. I made a connection from Gateway to the Minnesota people by, them telling me about their family they had in Minnesota. The executives of Gateway, the Somalian executives, had family that they used to visit in Minnesota. Their family used to visit them from Minnesota. And they used to talk about the agencies they ran out there. It was a similar kind of setup, So there was a connection there between all of them.
Christopher, how long had this been going on? You were at Gateway for quite some time. How long do you think this has been going on, this fraud?
I was there from 2018 to recently 2025. And I hadn't realized about the audit that had been completed in 2018. So before I even got there, they were complicit in some of this stuff. And that was corroborated by the audits that were reported in the Steve Robinson article from the Maine Wire. That's what really made me come forward, because I had been reaching out, internally, blowing the whistle since 2024, early 2024, and I wasn't getting anywhere. So when I saw his reporting in March of 2025, and Gateway was talking about it internally, how it was just some racist reporter, reporting this stuff about them, I just made the connection, and I hadn't known about him or the Main Wire or any of this stuff.
So let's of course, our buddy, our fellow Dow Prize winner, Steve Robinson at the Main Wire, did that reporting. Tom, let me give you some information here and kind of get your reaction. The estimated Somali population of the United States in 1990, 2,500. In 2000, 45,000. In 2020, 221,000. This year now it's over 260,000. We've let in more than 250,000 Somalis in the past 35 years, and it has been nothing but cultural destruction. Your thoughts on this, Tom Pappert?
Cultural destruction and using the American empire at this point as a weapon against your enemies. We've seen this with Ilhan Omar. You heard it earlier in the show. She said she represents the interests of Somalia in the U.S. Congress. You know who's really upset about that and who's terrified about that is the Somalilanders. It's been in civil war since 1991. Half of it's Somalia, half of it's Somaliland. And the Somalilanders are now lobbying U.S. politicians trying to get some representation in Congress because this is what we've allowed to have happen, where the United States is being used as a cudgel to settle tribal disputes in their home country. That is what they've allowed to have happen by importing 260,000 of these individuals that really seem to do nothing but fraud.
And on that note, Tom Pappert, thanks for joining us today. Great work.
Thank you, Michael. Always a pleasure.
We'll be back after this with Steve Cortez.
Attorney General Miyares and John Fredericks talk about skill games.
They're unregulated slot machines.
They pop up in 7-Elevens in every corner of Virginia.
The General Assembly has spoken on this.
Skill games.
These things are illegal.
It's the Wild Wild West. Fights break out. Robberies increase.
Skill games.
They prey on the less fortunate.
I say it's a tax on the poor.
They're breaking the law.
My job is to enforce the law. These machines are not allowed.
Enforce the law and get them out of there.
When you see skill games, call the local sheriff.
These things are illegal.
Paid for by Churchill Downs.
Cold weather is here, and it's only getting colder. When you want instant whole room warmth, you go with Eden Pure, a trusted name for years on my show. Now they've done it again with the Eden Pure Gen 40 Plus infrared heater. This powerful compact unit gives you fast, even heat you can feel in seconds. Infrared heat warms you directly, not just the air around you, and it doesn't dry out the air. It's quiet, compact, and safe with multiple built-in safety shutoffs, and it heats up to 1,000 square feet. Perfect for the living room, bedroom, or office. And right now, Eden Pure is thanking our listeners. The Gen 40 Plus normally sells for $224, but Eden Pure is giving our VIP listeners an additional $50 off, bringing it to just $174. That's right, only $174 for state-of-the-art infrared heater. Now, this is a limited time offer with a strict limit of 3, and supplies are moving fast. So go to EdenPureDeals.com, use promo code Godzilla50. EdenPureDeals.com, promo code Godzilla50.
Trump 2.0 is in full effect. How do you keep up with all the action? I'll tell you. TrumpNationNews.com is your inside source for the inside scoop. Manufacturing, jobs, deportations, and the nation's rejuvenation. The first 100 days and beyond. All the news you need and no liberal gibberish. It's the perfect way to start your day. Sign up for the TNN newsletter. Do it today. TrumpNationNews.com. TrumpNationNews.com. Part of the John Fredericks Media Network.
Did you ever stop and think, why do the wealthy pay less taxes than we do? One reason, they take full advantage of the IRS tax code. Today's tax code is over 2 million pages. Who can read that? Remember the 2016 debate with Hillary Clinton? When asked why he doesn't pay more taxes, President Trump had the perfect answer. He said, if you don't like the current tax code, change it. I follow the very laws that you wrote. That's where Julio Gonzalez and his company, Tax Engineered Services, comes in. Julio's team looks at your taxes after they're done, but before you file them with the IRS. He doesn't get between you and your accountant. He reviews your taxes, makes his recommendations, and only gets 5 to 10% of what he saved you. No money up front, no cost. It's tax literacy for MAGA. He also sees what grants you may qualify for. For more information, text ETS to the number 26786. That's ETS to 26786. Text now.
My fellow Americans, I was this close, very close, to buying from the lumber yards. These are sick people. But I turned my head at the last second, and I saw a big, beautiful ad for D.T. McCall's. These are highly respected people. If I had not turned my head at the last second, I would have been ripped off at some lumber yard for $200 in hidden charges, and D.T. McCall & Sons are never going to do that. They'd never do that to you. These are great people. I've known them for a long time. They have great deals, and I just have to say, nobody knows deals like I do. D.T. McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. These are tremendous people. D.T. McCall & Sons. Check out one of their stores today.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We are indeed broadcasting live from our studios in Nashville, Tennessee. We welcome to our Zoom Newsmaker line right now our very good friend, the one, the only, Steve Cortez with the League of American Workers. Hello, Steve.
Michael, hello. Thank you for having me.
Every time I turn around, there you are on Gutfeld, being funny. What's it like being on Gutfeld? Yeah, you're funny.
Well, thank you. It's a ton of fun. But to that point, I will say this. There's some pressure to it because unlike a standard news show, which I'm normally on, where you really just have to know your stuff, you don't have to be creative or funny to be impressive on a regular sort of news hit. There, I need to know my stuff, and you need to try to be humorous because it is primarily a humor show.
It is.
So there's a bit of pressure to it, but having said that, that pressure is put on yourself. I mean, they couldn't be more gracious. Greg Gutfeld, I will certainly tell the audience out there because he's got a huge fan base. He is just the same off camera as he is on camera, meaning he is fun, he is smart, he's authentic. So he's a joy to be around, and they have me about once a month, which is great. I would say the only other bad part of it lately is I used to love going to New York, and I had a Wall Street career, lived in Chicago, would kind of shuttle between the two places. So I know New York super, super well. Used to love it, used to love the energy of it. It's, the capital of the world in so many ways. I don't like being in New York anymore. The city, even pre-Mamdani, has been falling apart. The entire place smells like pot. There's trash everywhere, dangerous people. It's really a shame. It's sad. So that's the only negative I would say about going to do Gutfeld. You have to be in person, which means you got to spend some time in New York, and that's not all that pleasant. I'd much rather be here in our great state of Tennessee.
I met Greg Gutfeld once, briefly, and nice guy. You're right. Very smart guy. What I like about Greg Gutfeld is he is funny and self-aware, but very intelligent, very articulate. Next time you go, why don't you just say, look, Greg, and all you guys, you're stuck up there in New York City. Come to Middle Tennessee. Do it out of Middle Tennessee, because, we're the journalistic center right now. I don't know if you know.
No.
But
absolutely, no. Yeah, Nashville's become a media capital in its own right. And you're right. People like that probably ought to be. Yeah, bring this operation to Tennessee.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the Tennessee Star, we won the Dow Prize for best local journalism in the country. The Dow Prize is the new Pulitzer Prize. The Daily Wire, based in Nashville, Luke Rosiak, he also won a Dow Prize for his reporting on government inefficiency. Middle Tennessee, that's the place to be. Tennessee's the state to be in. But if you had just a fascinating poll from the League of American Workers, and you looked at this problem, 18 to 25-year-olds. The polling says, they love socialism. Really? And you looked into that, and you understand why, based upon the keen insights that you got from your excellent question. Tell us a little bit about that, Steve Cortez.
You bet. So I polled, this is a national poll, over 2,000 Gen Z voters, 18 to 25-year-old voters nationwide, because I want to understand them more. And we knew that last election, that group moved big time to President Trump, to the Republican Party in November of last year, particularly young men. We know that from the voting totals, but I want to understand more about why and what does this group believe. By the way, I've got 2 kids that fit right in that category. I've got 4 kids in their 20s. So I feel like as a father also, I understand this generation perhaps a bit better than most middle-aged folks my age might. But clearly there's a lot going on with this group. And what I found is, and there's a lot of contradictions, or at least seemingly things that are contradictions, but I try to explain this in my article. They are very open to socialism, which is obviously disturbing. And to those of us who were formed during the Cold War, it's revolting, quite frankly. When we ask about their views on socialism, positive versus negative, it's actually plus 10 to the positive side, 43 to 33 positive over negative, big portion undecided, 24%. But we have to remember a few things. Number one is this group did not grow up with the Cold War, so they're not versed in the Soviet Union and Marxism. But number two, their experiences, by and large, have been about really collapse, one collapse after another. The housing collapse when they were very, very young. The COVID panic, and that's really, I think, the most impactful event in the lives of people who are 18 to 24, because almost all of them were in school, were badly abused, had really, in some ways, their youthful experiences robbed from them by what they now know was a bunch of grand lies, was a panic, was a massive overreaction that had nothing to do with science. So this is a group of people who don't trust institutions generally, any institutions, media, academia, government, the church. They don't trust institutions, and really for valid reasons largely. But then lastly, when they look at the economy and what has been presented to them as capitalism, now I don't believe it is capitalism. I think it's a rigged, crony, quasi-capitalist system that dominates right now in the American economy. But when they look at that, they just say, this is not working for us. And it clearly isn't. I think that's indisputable. And so then because of that disappointment, many of them are saying, we're willing to try something else, including, unfortunately, socialism. So what I found in the survey is that these are not hardcore leftists, because when we poll them on a lot of other issues in this same poll, they sound like the MAGA crowd, okay, especially the young men. All right, these are people, particularly on cultural issues, quite right-wing. Young men are actually the most right-wing people in America when it comes to cultural issues, much more right-wing than other segments of society. But then they have this seemingly inexplicable openness to and even affinity for socialism. But again, I think that's the explanation. And so I think the answer is we need to present them with a real version of a free enterprise economy that is not based on cronyism, that is not based on globalism, that is about Main Street prosperity, about protecting American industries and American workers. And if we do that successfully, I think this group is eminently winnable, even on the economy, although there are going to be challenges because, again, what they think is capitalism, what has been presented to them as capitalism, is not working for them. They don't believe in it. And because of that, they're open to just about anything. And that's obviously can be problematic.
You know, what an excellent idea to do this polling, because this has been troubling me for some time. And I think your poll is the first poll that really provided significant insights into this issue. And let me tell you something. I mean, I know a lot of kids in that 18 to 25-year-old age group, and you can understand their frustration, particularly kids that go to an elite university and come out with, $100,000 of debt, and they can't get a job. They can't get a job. Why is it? Well, it gets back to, the difficulty of getting a job today. I think for a kid coming out of college is much greater than it has ever been because of the, what was the term you used? The quasi-capitalist structure of the world today. I mean, you got these big corporations, right? And you get out of college, you got $100,000 of debt. And maybe, if maybe you've got let's just say you've got a basic, not gender studies, but let's say you have a basic business administration degree and you want to get a gig. There's like 5,000 people have applied for the job. How do you get the job, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. And there's a couple of issues here. For one is AI, right, which is clearly replacing a lot of entry-level positions already. But then the second, and I think these two are actually related, the second issue is, what have we done? We've imported millions and millions of foreigners, both illegal and legal, to compete in the labor market against American citizens, oftentimes against young Americans who are trying to get their life started. So these H-1B visas, which I believe are an absolute scam, and other worker visa programs. Of course, the flood of illegal workers, that's primarily competing against blue-collar young people, not so much the folks with degrees. But when you combine all this together, illegal immigration, massive flow of worker visas, which I think should be eliminated, and AI, these things together form a huge barrier to these young people. And we're already seeing it in the numbers, by the way. So unemployment for people in their young 20s who have their college degree, that jobless rate is almost 10% right now. So that's more than double the broad
too high. And it's hard.
Rate. Yeah.
And then they get these jobs, right, in these large when they go to the large corporations. It takes forever to get it, right? And they don't, I think there's frustration because the HR people treat them like, not like people, like numbers.
Yeah.
And then they get the job and they say, I went $100,000 in debt to do this stupid thing.
Right.
I mean, there's an element of that, right?
Sure. And listen, and people, this generation, they're cynical. They're angry. By the way, again, though, remember, they generally lean right, especially on cultural issues. Okay, so it's not all bad news, but this is an angry generation, and they have every right to be angry, right? Because they have been told grand consequential lies, not just the COVID panic, which was awful enough. They've also been told that, yes, if you work really hard, okay, and you take all these AP classes and you do well in your high school, you're going to go to a great university. You're going to go to University of Tennessee, or you're going to go to Vanderbilt. You might borrow a bunch of money, but you're going to get a degree, and you're going to start a happy, productive life, and you're going to live like your parents and grandparents or better, right? And that's not true, okay? And they're now finding out that it's not true. They're finding out that the degree isn't worth very much.
Yeah.
I have a lot of debt, right? They're finding out that the job market is terrible right now, and terrible for people who have actual STEM degrees, useful degrees from selective institutions like the two that I just named here in the state of Tennessee. And they're frankly pretty bitter about it. There's an excellent podcast with Tucker Carlson by Nayland Haley, who is the son of Nikki Haley. And he's very gracious, by the way, to his mother, talks about how much he loves her, but he also talks about how he disagrees with her on almost everything politically. And I thought it was great the way he played that, by the way, that he's very respectful, good son, adores his mom, at the same time has his own completely very Gen Z populist right political outlook that he explains to Tucker. And he says, for example, that of his cohort of friends, none of them have jobs, or they at least don't have the job they want. Maybe they're working as a bartender or a barista, but maybe they're employed, but they don't have anything like the job that they were, supposedly training to get, or, working toward getting. I see this with my own children, who a couple of whom are in the job market right now. Even people graduating with graduate degrees in mathematics, in serious skills, are having a hell of a time getting a job right now. And so that is a massive problem. We need to understand this about Gen Z, and also then give them a little leeway, show a little grace in a way, political grace of, okay, that's why they're willing to flirt with socialism. It's not because they're lefties. These aren't Marxists. These aren't hardcore people. And we know that from my poll, I think. And I think you just know it if you know people like this in your life, especially young men.
I actually,
if anything,
I know
they're going the other way.
I know several young men, good college degrees in business, that have been trying for some time to get jobs. And it's not easy. I think there's a way to fix it, I think. And just saying, things are getting better, that's not going to fix it. When we come back, if you can stick around, let's talk about how we fix this for young kids. Back with Steve Cortez, League of American Workers, after this.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your sat phone. Call now.
Is your pet ready for some pawsome fun? At Creekside Pet Hotel in Kennesaw, every day is a tail-wagging adventure. Whether they're romping with friends in day camp, enjoying a staycation in our cozy boarding, or getting pampered in our luxury spa, we make sure every furry guest gets the royal treatment. Happy pets, wagging tails, and the best care. What more could they ask for? Book your pet's perfect getaway today at creeksidepethotel.com or give us a call at 770-422-4700.
What happens in Virginia doesn't stay in Virginia. It influences policy and policymakers nationwide. The VirginiaStar.com shines a light on the issues in VA that become issues for the USA, with insightful commentary that gets to the fact of the matter. The VirginiaStar.com is your source of wisdom and truth, locally, statewide, and nationally. Log on today and every day. The VirginiaStar.com. The VirginiaStar.com.
If you've tried everything for cheek redness or breakouts and nothing works, it's not your fault. The real cause might be deeper than you think. Introducing Clear Skin Ivermectin Cream from the Wellness Company, a prescription-strength, dermatologist-developed formula that helps reduce inflammation, balance bacteria, and restore your skin's natural glow. This triple-action cream combines 3 medical-grade ingredients for powerful results. Azelaic acid to unclog pores and fade dark spots, metronidazole to control bacterial imbalance and redness, and ivermectin to calm irritation and eliminate skin parasites that contribute to rosacea and acne. Together, these ingredients work to reduce bumps, swelling, and redness while supporting smoother, healthier, and more radiant skin over time. Formulated and compounded in the United States, this FDA-approved cream is trusted by doctors for visible and lasting results. Experience clear, confident skin with the Wellness Company's Clear Skin Ivermectin Cream. U.S. residents only. Head to twc.health/Godzilla and use code Godzilla to save $20 off, plus free shipping.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like The Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com, listen to Michael Patrick Leahy, and make America great again.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Our guest, the great Steve Cortez, with the head of the League of American Workers. And Steve, this great poll about the political attitudes of 18 to 25-year-olds, I completely buy that this flirtation with socialism stems from bitterness with lack of opportunity that they've been promised. What can be done now in real time to address this problem for young people in America?
Yeah, great question, and I've got a couple of answers, and I'd love to hear your ideas as well, of course. And you're right, it does not flow from ideology, right? It's flowing from bitterness. And part of how I know that is in my poll, and Donald Trump won this group, 18 to 25-year-old, among men. He didn't win it overall, but he did far better than he'd done previously among women, and he won it among men, 18 to 25-year-olds, which is astounding, okay? Since 18-year-olds, for example, just take that one age group of 18-year-olds purely, since they got the right to vote over 50 years ago, no Republican has ever won 18-year-olds in America, not even Reagan in his 84 landslide. Donald Trump won 18-year-olds last fall. But among those voters, among the Trump voters in my survey, on this issue of socialism, positive, negative, guess what? It's split 40-40,
Yeah.
40 positive, 40
Right.
negative. So it's not ideological. These are people who voted for Trump. It's because they're bitter, and they deserve to be bitter, quite frankly. They have been cheated in many ways in their young lives, including now economically. So, okay, what to be done from here? Well, the first fix, which I think is the easier one in the more near term, is we've got to phase out these worker visas. We've got to keep cracking down on illegal migration and get rid of these worker visas.
Get rid of them
They
now.
are outrageous.
Yep.
Yes, they have to go, right? There is no reason we should be importing white-collar work to do jobs that young Americans are
those
totally
are the
capable
entry-level jobs for kids coming out of college, and they're going to somebody from
100%.
India who's got an H-1B visa, whose cousin came in a year ago on an H-1B visa.
Yeah, correct. So that's going to help a lot. Bigger picture, and this is way harder politically to get done, we've got to address this $38 trillion in debt that we have in the United States. Because, what does that debt do in a lot of ways? It makes sure it's capital crowd out, for one thing. There's not enough capital to go to new enterprises, to small business, to mom and pop operations, to startups. But also, what's important is in an economy like that is debt laden, the existing winners tend to continue to dominate, meaning people my age. So, middle class and older, people who own a lot of assets, because what's doing well in this debt economy? Assets. So if you have an inflationary economy, which we generally do, you want to own stocks and real estate. Young people in general own neither, right? And when it comes to real estate, they may never own real estate at these current trajectories, but middle class and older folks generally do. So it's very much benefiting the already successful. And what you're getting is a concentration of wealth that is really, really unhealthy for any society. Now, that doesn't mean we turn to Marxist solutions and we want compelled redistribution. No, but what we do want is distributivism. We do want subsidiarity in our economic policies where we have a broad shared prosperity on Main Street, and we don't have that right now. Again, this is bigger picture. Hard to get there in terms of eliminating the debt because there's almost no appetite in Washington, D.C. to do so in either party.
None.
But that will also be a bigger picture solution. But the nearer term, I think, more achievable part is worker visas.
Yeah, okay, but it's not just that. I think you said something really important. So if you're a young kid, 18 to 25, with ambition tinged with bitterness because what was promised you hasn't been delivered, you said something really important. The availability of capital to start a new business. I'm telling you what, we've got to have policies that make a capital available to young kids so they can start businesses. I know it's start a business when you're young. You don't know enough. Well, maybe you don't. And maybe some of them will fail, but some of them will succeed. And these kids, if they're given a chance, if they have access to enough capital to start a business, some of them are going to do well. And that is back to when you talk to the policy guys in the Trump administration, you got to address that. You got to make it easier for young kids to start businesses. And that means capital availability. And I don't mean it's a bunch of subsidy money. I think you've got to have some tax policies that make it more attractive for investors of all sorts to make that capital available to younger kids. Your thoughts?
Yeah. No. 100%. And listen, I will tell you, one of my takeaways, okay, despite this flirtation with socialism, I think on the whole, my poll is really good news for the future of America because Gen Z is very different from, for example, the millennials. So, people who are now generally in their 30s. That in a lot of ways was this coddled and I think, frankly, kind of soft generation, who, for example, wanted protection from, quote, trigger words and wanted sort of, language safe spaces, okay? Gen Z is the opposite.
Yeah.
When I polled them about free speech, for example, they are vehemently in favor of free speech. They're totally worried about the debt load that they are inheriting. 88% of them told us they want to buy a home in their 20s or 30s, but they don't believe they're going to, okay? This is a very different generation, and if there are some positives about them being so abused, right, and they were abused, especially during COVID, if there's a positive to that, it's that there's a resiliency here. And there's sort of a healthy cynicism and I think almost a dynamism among this group of, hey, we survived that, we uncovered the lies, we're never going to be lied to again that way. And they're very aggressive and dynamic in a really exciting way. They're patriotic too, thankfully, especially the young men. So I have a lot of confidence in this group, but we've got to create the conditions where they can succeed.
Exactly.
Because otherwise there is opportunity for the Mamdanis and the AOCs of the world to appeal to this group.
If you're a young kid, 18 to 25, you're looking for purpose and a job, there's one place you can get it. You can become a leftist social organizer, and there's a job for you.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right. And so, no, and there is an appeal there. And I guess I would also say this, and this is something that I talk about a lot when I give speeches, when I do my media hits. Folks who watch me on War Room know that Bannon and I often talk about this. Populism is here to stay. And I think that's also what this poll tells me. Okay, populism is here to stay. Is it going to be from the right? Is it going to be our MAGA populism, patriotic populism? Or is it going to be the pernicious, violent leftist populism
Steve, your poll
of Luigi Mangione?
Your poll is so important because it points out the opportunities for conservative populism among 18 to 25-year-olds. But we got to pay attention to it, and we got to enact those policies that you talked about, getting rid of the visas, and I think make capital available to young kids. Steve Cortez, thanks so much for joining us today. Great work.
You bet. Thank you, Michael.
When we come back, do I hear it? Do I hear it? I think I hear it. There we go. Donald Trump and Sean Farage will join us. Back after this.
Let's face it, losing weight isn't just about looks. It's about taking back control of your health. Tired of confusing diets and injections with harsh side effects? Meet Drop, an oral GLP-1 peptide from the Wellness Company that boosts metabolism, curbs cravings, and helps you burn fat. No needles needed. Just mix it with water and let your body do the rest. Right now, get $100 off and free shipping at twc.health/Godzilla and use the promo code Godzilla100 to save $100. Take back your life.
Did you ever stop and think, why do the wealthy pay less taxes than we do? One reason, they take full advantage of the IRS tax code. Today's tax code is over 2 million pages. Who can read that? Remember the 2016 debate with Hillary Clinton? When asked why he doesn't pay more taxes, President Trump had the perfect answer. He said, if you don't like the current tax code, change it. I follow the very laws that you wrote. That's where Julio Gonzalez and his company, Tax Engineered Services, comes in. Julio's team looks at your taxes after they're done, but before you file them with the IRS. He doesn't get between you and your accountant. He reviews your taxes, makes his recommendations, and only gets 5 to 10% of what he saved you. No money up front, no cost. It's tax literacy for MAGA. He also sees what grants you may qualify for. For more information, text ETS to the number 26786. That's ETS to 26786. Text now.
John Fredericks loves his radio and TV audience, but did you know how to follow the Godzilla of Truth wherever you go? Download the John Fredericks Radio Show app to listen live nationwide. For the daily chit-chat, Trucking the Truth, download the Getter app and join the morning fun on Getter Live from 6 to 10 a.m. Follow John Fredericks on Getter, Truth Social.
WENO Nashville, KQPN West Memphis. News Talk, AM 760, AM 730, The Flame.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump tried to flip the script last night when he held a rally in Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania, repeatedly dismissing the focus on affordability as a hoax by Democrats, a con job, he says, to cover up for the fact that prices went up dramatically during President Biden's administration. But now he says he's trying to lower those prices.
We're bringing those prices down rapidly, lower prices, bigger paychecks. You're getting lower prices, bigger paychecks. We're getting inflation. We're crushing it. And you're getting much higher wages.
And the president's speech on the economy did turn into a campaign-style event as he looks ahead to the 2026 midterms.
Speaking to a Pennsylvania audience, the president blamed Democrats for inflation and insisted prices were coming down. But he soon began weaving from topic to topic. The president's speech was peppered with profanity, and he ranted against immigrants from third-world countries.
Somalia. Places that are a disaster, right? Filthy, dirty, disgusting, ridden with crime.
It was the first of upcoming regularly scheduled events that his White House chief of staff said the president would hold ahead of next year's midterms. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Defense Secretary Hegseth provided a classified briefing to congressional leaders about that September strike on a boat in the Caribbean.
Senator Mark Warner among those asking for the release of the full video of the attack.
Up to and including the second strike.
Hegseth says he's still weighing that.
Senate Republicans have a plan to get past those Obamacare subsidies.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune announced Tuesday that Republicans had coalesced around a proposal from Senators Bill Cassidy of Florida, who chairs the Senate Health Panel, and Mike Crapo of Idaho, who chairs the Senate Finance Committee, to counter Democrats' legislation. The Senate is set to vote on the dueling proposals on Thursday. Thune said Cassidy and Crapo's plan was given a thumbs up by the majority of Republicans during the conference's closed-door meeting.
That is Bernie Bennett. More from Town Hall.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-366-6161. That's 800-366-6161. 800-366-6161.
Here's Rich Thomason with a midday Wall Street Business Report.
This week, the Senate votes on two competing health care plans.
With COVID-era health care subsidies set to expire, senators will vote on a Democratic bill to extend the ACA tax credits for 3 years. This vote was promised during the government shutdown, but it lacks the bipartisan support needed for passage. Republicans have a plan that would replace the subsidies with new savings accounts. It, too, is likely to fail. As a result, millions of Americans are bracing for more expensive health care coverage. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Later today, the Federal Reserve issues its latest decision on interest rates. Another quarter-point cut is expected. Cracker Barrel dropped 8% pre-market, having missed sales targets and trimming its revenue outlook. Same-store sales dropped 4.7% during its first quarter. I'm Rich Thomason.
Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. At a rally focused on affordability last night, President Trump told the crowd in Pennsylvania his second term has already brought real wage growth compared to a $3,000 drop under President Biden. He also said both the stock market and 401ks are, in his words, going up big time. Democrat Eileen Higgins won the Miami mayoral runoff on December 9th, that defeating Trump-backed Republican Emilio Gonzalez in the process. Higgins secured approximately 59% of the vote compared to Gonzalez's 41%. Scientists are urging awareness of a product called Baby Big. It's a treatment developed to help with rare cases of infant botulism. Experts say Baby Big, an immune globulin therapy, remains the only proven life-saving treatment for infant botulism. Doctors stress that early administration can prevent paralysis. More on these stories at SRN News.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. I think we've got, there we go. The presidential helicopter is landing in the front of our studios, getting out, all 6'2", maybe 6'3" of him, with his hair being blown by the helicopter blades. It is Donald J. Trump, the 47th president of the United States. Oh, who's that guy with? It's Sean Farage, and they're coming in together. They're opening the door, and here they are, Mr. President. We'll talk with you first because I know you're very busy. Thank you so much. You came directly from Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania, where you held this terrific rally last night. If I must say so myself, Mr. President, you were on fire.
They call it en fuego. First of all, you said I'm 6'2". I'm actually, as all the kids say, 6'7", right? We love it. We're 6'7". They ask me, sir, how many terms are you going to run for? I say 6'7". It's a beautiful. They love that. You know, the kids love that. They think it's tremendous. But no, we had a great rally in the Poconos. We love Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a great place. And unless you're from Philadelphia, the Eagles are having a hard time right now. They can't get out of their own way. The Philadelphia Eagles, who their low IQ mayor spelled it ELGSES. That's not how you spell Eagles, but very stupid. Sherelle Parker, very stupid person.
What's the problem? Why do we have so many stupid people who are Democrats these days?
Well, we should probably ask Tim Walz, right? We should probably ask him. And I use choice words to describe him. They say to me, sir, you're not supposed to say that. But we should probably ask Tim Walz. We could ask a lot of Democrats. You look at Crockett. She thinks she's running for Senate. I call her Nurse Ratchet, by the way, because she's a crazy person.
What?
Very nasty.
How low is her IQ?
Her IQ is below the basement, I would say. Probably below the basement. It's the basement for the basement. You look at her. You look at AOC. Very stupid person. You look at Ilhan Omar, you look at it. She wears, the thing on her head. I don't know what she's protecting. There's nothing in there. It's hollow. It's a hollow place. A very hollow place. They did an x-ray once on her. They said, Ilhan, we don't see anything. There's something wrong with our machines. We don't see anything inside. No, that's because she doesn't have. She's like the scarecrow. She doesn't have a brain, right? And she's a nasty person. And also apparently married her brother. Think about it.
Yeah,
if
you
she
talked
did that,
about that last night.
If she did that, I say it's a raw deal for the brother, right? Think about it. The brother divorced his first wife, which may or may not have been a farm animal, and married another farm animal. So think about it. Very nasty. And if she did that, maybe we'll get her out of the country. That would be a great day. Today's a great day to do that. Maybe we'll do it today. We'll see what happens.
So Tim Walz was in Seattle yesterday because, things are going so well in Minneapolis, right? How big is the fraud there? 1 billion, 2 billion, 8 billion?
Too many. It's too many, too big. It's way too big. It's like the fraud that goes on at the Fed.
Yeah.
It just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
So I'd like you to react to this, Mr. President. So Tim Walz goes to a fundraiser for a leftist Democrat governor in Seattle, Washington, and he says, I want more Somalis in Minnesota. No, I know, Mr. President. That seems ridiculous, and yet that's what what's your reaction to that, Mr. President?
Well, of course he wants more Somalis because he wants to destroy Minnesota. He wants to destroy our country, and that's exactly what they're doing. We announced last week that we had a tremendous victory over hurricane season. There were no hurricanes in the Gulf of America ever since we made the name change.
I think it's the name change that did it, Mr.
Well,
President.
and I also got along very well with Mother Nature, which a lot of people don't really know, but you've heard of her. She's a tremendous person, but we got a ton of, they call it wind shear, and it was ripping up, it was shearing up the storms, like the Somalis are shearing Minnesota. They're tearing up Minnesota. And Tim Walz likes that because the Somalis don't call him mean words. They call him nice words because he lets them commit fraud. So, of course, he wants more because they vote for him. It's you import the third world, you become the third world, and then you start to think like the third world. And a lot of people from the third world are stupid people. And Tim Walz is a very stupid person, and I'm allowed to say stupid. There are other words I use. They say, sir, probably don't want to use that one again, but I'm allowed to say he's a stupid person, and he's a very stupid person.
I noticed that the word, the R word, retarded, I'll say it. You don't have to say it. I don't think that was a word you used last night. But I think, stupid fits.
Stupid fits, but the other one fits too, but stupid fits.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They say if the shoe fits, they say if it fits, it ships. If it fits, it ships. And that one fit, and so we shipped it, right? In a big, beautiful Truth Social post, so we shipped it out. It was great, but a lot of people didn't like it. Now he says people are driving past his house saying that. And what I could say to him is maybe if the shoe didn't fit, people wouldn't be doing that. Just like President Xi of China tells me to stop calling him Winnie the Pooh. I said, you have to stop looking like Winnie the Pooh. And he understands that.
There's a very interesting story about mental health problems with certain leftists. And one of them, who is just continually whining, who left the United States of America after you were elected for the second time, Rosie O'Donnell, who lives in Ireland now. And she just can't help but whine about how bad you are. Why does she care if she's living in Ireland?
Well, I live rent-free in her head. You look at it, we're in her head. There's a lot of space in here, by the way, but we're in her head. And she's very unhappy about me for some reason. But you look at, in Ireland, I got along very well with Ireland, but I spoke to the leadership there, and they were saying they want to send her back. I said, you can't do that. We're going to tariff every pound, which is about 5,000 pounds. and we're going to do it at about 4,000% per pound. And they said, we can't afford that. So you have to keep Rosie. No take-backs, right? You're playing for keeps. You got Rosie. She's a beautiful person in Ireland. She's not a beautiful person in the United States. And frankly, in Ireland, she's not a beautiful person either. They're saying she's getting them close to another potato famine, which I said we don't want to have to deal with that. You know, we sent Rosie out. The price of food went down. I think there's a direct correlation. I think so.
Less demand for food.
Less demand for food. You
In
know,
the
if we send out Chris Christie, Jiggly Belly Pritzker, and the beast of the Southeast, Stacey Abrams, we'll see food come down to the lowest prices ever, probably.
Now, there's another low IQ person out there who has just announced that she's running for the United States Senate in Texas. Her name is Jasmine Crockett. And in her announcement, she didn't say a word. She just played your clips calling her a low IQ person. And I don't know. That seemed like the most bizarre announcement that I've ever seen.
Well, I call her Nurse Ratchet. Ratchet means you come from the streets and you're not put together very well. That she's like Nurse Hatchet, but Ratchet, right? You look at her. She's a very nasty person and a stupid person, and you don't launch a campaign for Senate and say nothing. And she did that. And quite frankly, her ad made me look phenomenal. I think it made me look great because I called her stupid about 50 times. And she is very stupid. And it just shows when you launch a campaign, you don't say a word. It's a very stupid thing to do. I would never do that. I do the weave. It's called the weave. We start in one spot. We go all the way around. We come back. I say a lot of words. The greatest words. I got along very well with Merriam and Webster. We wrote the dictionary together. And I put all those words in there, defined them all very quickly. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. She doesn't use words because she doesn't have words because she's a lot of stupid people today. It's the theme. Very stupid people, and they're all Democrats.
Yeah, they all are. Mr. President, thank you so much for coming in directly from Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania. I hear the helicopter warming up. I think you're going to go back. Are you going to go to the White House? You're going to go. Where are you headed?
We're going to the White House for a big, beautiful round table. We have a round table to discuss some things at today, so we're going to be doing that a little later in the afternoon, and it's going to be a fantastic time.
Mr. President, do you mind if Sean Frosh stays with us?
No, he's a great guy. He's a nice guy.
That's what I hear.
He's a nice guy.
Would you say he's the best impersonator?
I think he does a tremendous job.
He does. He does. All right. When we come back, after the president leaves, we'll have Sean Frosh here, and we've got a lot of politics to talk about. We've got some whiny judges in Nashville. Get your reaction to that after this.
Hi, folks. John Fredericks here for Freedom Alliance. Veterans are still struggling with the wounds of war. They came home with injuries that changed them forever. The flag-burning troublemakers in our streets remind me how fortunate we are to have patriots who served and fought, sacrificed, and never complained. We need to support them through organizations like the Freedom Alliance. It's Military Appreciation Month and time to support those who serve. Freedom Alliance is caring for combat veterans and military families. Combat veterans fought in the worst, most dangerous places on earth. Freedom Alliance takes them to nature's most relaxing locations so they can heal. Freedom Alliance gives injured troops mortgage-free homes, new cars, and all-terrain wheelchairs. For wounded vets, there's nothing like the stability of your own home, the reinsurance of a reliable vehicle, or the independence of a wheelchair that navigates snow, ice, beach, pasture, or most any terrain. Let's fight for those who fought for us. Go to freedomalliance.org/Godzilla and make a monthly gift that will improve the life of a military hero. That's freedomalliance.org/Godzilla. Make a contribution today.
If you're like me, most moms find it difficult to prioritize self-care. Hi, it's Colleen, Program Director at the John Fredericks Media Network. With the demands of programming 13 radio stations, it's easy to forget about the things I should do for myself daily. And that's why I started with our company's Women's Challenge with Native Path Collagen Peptides. It's affordable and convenient care in just 1 scoop a day. There are so many incredible health benefits like bone and joint support, metabolism booster, and hair, skin, and nail improvement. I like to take a moment each day to prioritize myself and indulge in the health-boosting benefits of Native Path Collagen Peptides. I love mixing it up with all the different smoothie recipes, too. Learn more about Native Path Collagen Peptides and read 7 important reasons why you should be taking collagen peptides at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Prioritize your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today and get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
Target.com. Target.com is an online e-commerce tire retailer. We are here to serve the American public with the best possible customer service, the best pricing, and we make it extremely easy. We have many name brands and a lot of low-cost tires. The price is right, and it's easy. You go online to Target.com, TIREGET.com, Target.com. You go there, you put your zip code in, all the inventory displays right in front of you. You can call in for help if you want to. We'll help you get the tire that you need. But we will take the tires you buy and at no extra charge deliver them to the dealer right by your house where they will be installed at the market price. It's easy. The best price, the best service. Great people to deal with. Thank you for going to Target.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
In studio, the very best Donald Trump impersonator in the world. The one, the only, Sean Farash. It's another Tennessee Christmas. A tender Tennessee Christmas coming here. By the way, we almost had the writer of that song, Gary Chapman, here in studio this week.
Really?
But he actually, he wrote the song, Tender Tennessee Christmas.
I wrote it with him, by the way.
It was you, Gary Chapman, his then wife, Amy Grant, sitting around the fireplace writing a Tender Tennessee Christmas, right? So he was willing to come in, but Congressman Tim Burchett has invited him to sing that song in Washington, D.C. this week. So, maybe next time.
Okay.
Are you enjoying Christmas here in Tennessee?
Yeah, it's our third year, 25, the 23, 24, and this is our third year in Tennessee for Christmas. Yeah.
And it just gets better and better.
It gets better and better. The best gift ever is no income tax. Every year we don't have to pay a state income tax, which is great.
And a lot of people come here to Tennessee from blue states, and they think the entire state might be red.
Right.
Not so.
That's the way it looks on a map, but there's plenty of crazies here.
Well, particularly in the blue counties of Davidson County and Shelby County.
Yeah. Nashville and Memphis.
Nashville. And there's this very weird story in Nashville about a Somali migrant. Notice a theme there.
Yeah.
A Somali migrant.
Another one.
Yeah. Who had
He was just here for a better life, right?
Yeah.
That's what he was doing.
His name? Mohammed A. Muhammad.
Very nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
That guy. Now, he has been charged with a horrific crime. He was on the doorsteps of a church where a woman in strife was apparently gone looking for help, 34-year-old woman. He decided it would be a good time to allegedly rape her.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And he was arrested and has been charged with her rape. She died subsequently.
Mm.
And now when you look into the story, this guy, Mohammed A. Muhammad, had been before General Sessions Court judges here in Nashville, Davidson County, 6 separate times. 6 separate judges.
Before the rape?
Before the rape. Alleged rape.
Every time one of these, it doesn't matter where it is, in a blue county, blue city, blue state, every time you have one of these stabbings, rapes, assaults, you always find out that this guy could have been in custody and wasn't. Every time.
Example, in the public transit in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes.
The sweet Ukrainian refugee
Irina Zarutska. Yeah.
Who was murdered by a criminal who had been, I don't know, like 50 times?
50 times.
Maybe
there was another one on the train in North Carolina recently.
Just recently?
12 times he was previously
12
arrested.
times. And that guy that was an illegal alien.
There was one in Chicago who beat up a doctor in the elevator of a hospital, arrested 12 priors.
Another crazy guy let out multiple times in Chicago.
Yep.
Who burned a young girl.
Yeah. On the train.
On the train.
Yep. She survived that.
She survived, but the
trauma.
Her life is going to be rough.
Yeah.
I would say. But,
Yeah.
but okay, so Andy Ogles, Congressman Andy Ogles, 5th District, represents parts of Nashville, half of Williamson County, half of Wilson County, all of Marshall, Murray, and Lewis County. He called out those 6 judges by name for going soft on this guy who later allegedly raped on the steps of a church in Nashville a 34-year-old woman who died.
Did that attack lead to her death? Is that what they're saying?
We don't know.
Okay.
Because she was, I think, in distress.
Okay.
At the time.
Got it.
Of the rape.
Okay.
Which is why she was there on the church.
Gotcha.
Now, what would a solid citizen do, seeing a woman in distress?
I think a solid citizen wouldn't rape her and would probably try and help her.
You would think.
Right.
Right. That's what a solid citizen would do, but not
even a solid non-citizen, just a good human being.
Yeah. So, anyways, this 6 judges, all Democrats, by the way, were singled out by name for letting this guy off the hook by Andy Ogles. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
In the language of his statement about them, he said, we are at war with this kind of crime. Guess what they did? Not just those 6. There's 11 general session judges in Nashville-Davidson County. All of them said, we will not allow a member of Congress to threaten us with violence. I mean, really.
Where did he threaten them with violence?
He didn't.
Exactly. So, okay, then don't allow it. But it didn't happen. So next, right?
They sent a letter to Governor Leahy. Yeah. We want more protection.
Oh.
And they complained. And they sent a letter to the courts. We want more. Well, nobody's going to. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's the whiny.
Well, he didn't call for it.
It's a whiny victimhood. Here he is now. Watch Andy Ogles talking about this. I think it was this morning.
I'm going to fight for Nashville and my constituents, and I've had enough of this crap. And I want to ask the judges. They want extra protection. Where were they? Where was this woman's protection when she was being raped to death on the steps of a church? You can't make this crap up. And I'm sorry that they're offended and scared, but you know what? I'm guessing she was scared too.
Well, that's a good angle, isn't it?
It's a great angle. This is why I'm a huge fan of Andy Ogles.
Mm-hmm.
He is literally a man of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Every experience I've had with him, and I've seen him at a number of events, and I've had a chance to speak with him, and I like this guy. He's doing the job the right way. He's doing it like Burchett, and very few others in Congress. After we were swatted, Andy Ogles was the only state representative who reached out to us. His office, we're not even his constituents anymore.
Yeah, you're not in
We were last year.
But not now. Yeah.
But not now. And they reached out to us, I want to say a day after, and said, hey, let's do a sit down. Let's talk about, what we can do for people who do this. And I mean, it was great. And that's not the only reason why I like him, because he did something like that for us. But he does things like that. He's been very proactive about the judges, one of the only, the federal judges,
Mm-hmm.
Boasberg and all these people. And he doesn't hold back. He doesn't hold back. He's not reckless with his words, but he's, you don't have to wonder, what does he mean by that? You know what he means. And I think he's doing a phenomenal job. And, this just, nobody else is pushing back. He's filling a very important void. And I think we need more people like that.
You and I have not had a chance to talk since December 2nd,
right,
when Matt Van Epps easily defeated Afton Bain. I just have to get your reaction to this. So he won by 9 points.
9 points, yeah.
And, of course, The Hill and Emerson said it was a virtual tie.
2 points, yeah.
Yeah.
2.94 or something. Yeah.
And we pointed out that they had undersampled Republicans.
Yes.
But she said, they said, no. We're going to undersample them because they were wrong. Intentionally wrong, I think. But, okay. So I just have to talk about presentation. So did you see this? This is the woman who said, I hate Nashville.
Yeah.
I hate country music. Election night, when she gave her speech to the crowd there after the results were in.
Whatever she was wearing.
She was wearing a rhinestone cowgirl outfit. And did you see, this is part of the strategy of the left. Their candidates are younger and they glam them up.
Oh, yeah.
And she was all glammed up.
It was like watching a like Instagram, TikTok influencer thing.
Bingo.
You know, like, oh, look at her on camera doing a bit.
That's what
Come
she was.
on.
She was.
I do bits. I barely dress up for them. Okay.
Yeah, you do bits.
Yeah.
Although I loved your
the sombrero. That was,
a classic.
Hey, the president loved that one. Hey, that was. Oh, by the way, the hurricane bit that I did last week. Eric Trump got a kick out of it.
Oh, yeah.
He reshared. And Marco Rubio is now following me on Instagram because
of course
of it.
he is.
I'm sitting there. All right.
Yes. But the point
Hurricanes.
is, this
I know bits.
Performative stuff is what, influencers such as yourself and comedians such as yourself, pundits do. It's not or shouldn't be what political elected officials do, but that's what she did. And the other thing, by the way, so first she says she hates Nashville.
Right.
Then she says she hates country music.
Right.
Election night, when she comes in to, talk about how wonderful it was that she only lost by 9 points, she's wearing the rhinestone cowboy girl outfit. She's all glammed up to look like a young Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
Oh, not quite, but anyway. Yeah, I didn't really. So then she comes on, and they're playing Dolly Parton's signature song, 9 to 5, and then she starts singing along with it.
I saw that too.
What I would say this to anybody in Nashville, unless you have the musical talent of Vince Gill or Gary Chapman, don't try singing.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Just don't do it.
Don't do it.
Whew.
I mean,
yeah.
She was enthusiastic, but not exactly on key.
She was enthusiastic, but not good. Okay? It's one of those you almost feel bad, but I don't.
No.
But I would say there's losing, and then there's like that. It's like just
parody.
It was like
performative parody.
You got smoked in the election.
Yeah.
And then you did that. Oof.
When we come back, if you don't mind, I've got a great Babylon Bee story about one of your favorite football teams.
Okay.
And you're going to really love it. I'll set it up, and then I'll tell you. You can't look now because it's funny.
Okay.
We'll be back with the great Sean Farash after this.
EJ Haast here, founder of the Digital Footprint Management Agency and frequent guest on the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, here to tell you about GetFoundEverywhere.com. Customers are searching for your business everywhere: Google, Apple Maps, TikTok, and new AI platforms like ChatGPT and Gemini, which is a total disruptor. Traditional search engine optimization isn't dead, but it is on life support. Old tactics don't work anymore. So how can you make your business stand out? GetFoundEverywhere.com makes your business pop on over 50 search, map, review, and AI-driven platforms. With one easy dashboard, manage business profiles, social media accounts, direct messages, even texts and reviews. GetFoundEverywhere.com is affordable, boosts your visibility, and gets your business more customers. It's time to step up your game the easy way. Save time, save money, and get more customers with GetFoundEverywhere.com.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at GlockStore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at GlockStore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
My fellow Americans, my good friends, I've known them for a long time, at DT McCall & Sons have the deal of a lifetime for you, and nobody knows deals like I do. That much I can tell you. Nobody knows deals like I do. The lumber yards, they can hit you with hidden charges for up to $200 extra. They'll charge you for cords and hoses and haul-offs. Your money goes all over the place and out of the state, and most importantly, out of your pockets. How do they get away with that? I don't know how they do that, but on day one, if you buy from McCall's, we are going to stop the hidden charges as soon as you buy it. DT McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. Head to one of their stores today or check them out at dtmccalls.com. You're going to love it, believe me.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
You know, Sean Farash, every now and then, it's fun for you and me to talk sports.
I love it.
And now is the time of year we talk NFL sports and we talk NCAA football. Lots to talk about. But in this segment, I'm going to set this up with the following. Phillip Rivers.
Oh, the former quarterback of the Chargers.
Yeah.
Yeah. He made Jay Cutler cry on a football field once.
The guy had a great career.
He did.
And it was mostly, when they were the San Diego Chargers.
Yes.
And then I think he played for a year when they were the Los Angeles Chargers.
I think he played for the Colts one year too, right?
Well, this is where I'm going.
Okay.
So in 2020, he played 1 year with the Indianapolis Colts, and they did pretty well with him. And then he retired. And he's gone down to Fairhope, Alabama, where he's a high school football coach for St. Michael's Catholic, 5 years as coach there. And he's got them playing pretty well. I think they've played in some championship games. I don't think they've won any, but they're like 11-3 this year, 12-2, something like that. So his buddy that he knew from the Chargers is now the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. And Daniel Jones has kind of resurrected his career.
Well, yeah.
Until he blew out his knee. And now he's out for the season.
Brutal.
And they're struggling. They were like 8-2.
Yeah, they're not even leading the division anymore.
They're 8-5 now.
Yeah, the Jacksonville Jaguars lead that division.
And so
Houston's on their heels.
And so Anthony Richardson, who they had drafted as a first draft choice, is always injured.
Yeah.
The Florida kid. He's never going to make it, I don't think.
No.
But he's on injured reserve.
Like a Teddy Bridgewater type.
So they bring in Riley Leonard, the rookie out of Notre Dame. And so after Jones goes down in this last game, Riley Leonard is injured as well. So
what's going on?
Well, would you like to know what they've done?
Tell me Phillip Rivers is coming back.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, after 5 years, his buddy, the new head coach there, he's signed on the practice squad.
Interesting.
And if Riley Leonard can't make it, there will be Phillip Rivers. After 5 years.
How old is he?
He's 44.
Holy man. Well, Flacco could do it.
We'll see. I mean, if you've not done game day prep.
Yeah, you're going to, I mean, if you're still in game shape, if he's...
I just don't
know if he is.
He's probably not.
Probably not.
I mean...
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
I
but
mean,
they signed him. That's interesting. I mean, what else are they going to do?
He knows the system.
Right.
And he did well in Indianapolis. So, your favorite team, the New York Jets, heard about this.
Mm-hmm.
This is a breaking story from the Babylon Bee.
Oh, who are the Jets, quote unquote, bringing back?
Struggling New York Jets sign Uncle Rico.
From Napoleon Dynamite.
Rico Dynamite, a longtime Idaho resident and former high school starting quarterback for the Preston Indians, was reportedly signed by the New York Jets in a surprise deal that is sure to win them the championship.
Yeah. Might as well. You might as well. Justin Fields is hurt. Tyrod Taylor is hurt. They got Brady Cook. I think the Jets' philosophy was if we bring in somebody named Brady, maybe he'll be a good quarterback. Wrong. They tried that with Brady Quinn not too long ago, too, a few years ago. He was the backup on that team, I think former star at Notre Dame. Didn't do too well with the Cleveland Browns and, bounced around the league for a little bit. Now he's, I think, doing commentary.
How will Uncle Rico do?
Uncle Rico's going to do better than any other Jet quarterback probably this year, right?
It's a pretty low bar, and he'll hit it.
Bar. Yeah, he'll probably hit it.
Okay.
Or exceed it. Oh, this team.
So back in the NFL. So the Titans won this weekend.
Yeah, they beat the Browns.
31-29.
Yeah.
The storyline there, to me, though, is how well Shedeur Sanders played.
He played well, but he played well against Tennessee.
Okay.
But he played well. He played well against Tennessee. Look, you don't take away a good game.
350 yards. And really, he brought him back. They were down 31-29 with like a minute to go. And the coach decided, and he was really hot.
Yeah, he was locked in.
And his passes were fabulous.
He had a good game. He had a really good game.
A very good game. So he had such a good game that he's been named the starting quarterback for the final 4 games.
That's a good idea. See what you got.
See what you got.
See what you got. Because maybe you have something. He was rated highly on a lot of teams' draft boards until the draft, and then he fell.
Because
you never know. The attitude, the drama, the baggage. But if he has the talent and he wants to prove himself, look, there's nothing better for Cleveland if they find out that they've got him and he's their guy. Because now you got your starting quarterback, your franchise quarterback, on his first NFL contract at the rate of a 6th-round draft pick. So he's super cheap,
So they're down 31-29. They go for 2. But the coach, what's his name? Stefanski? Whatever his name is.
Kevin Stefanski.
So Shedeur Sanders is really in a groove.
He's the hot hand.
He's not on the field for the 2-point.
It's unbelievable.
They put in some trick play that backfired.
This is what it looks like when an NFL coach gets too cute and outsmarts himself.
Yeah, it was bad.
The Bears did the same thing against the Packers. It was a 4th and 1, and they had Caleb Williams throw this ball downfield. Just everyone knows it's just quarterback sneak, get the first down, then you can start taking shots, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was these coaches, Seattle versus New England, Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You're on the 1-yard line.
And you pass it.
And you throw not just a pass, over the middle
Yeah.
into the most congested part of the field. When, by the way, on your team, you have a running back whose nickname is Beast Mode, who is known for yards after contact, Marshawn Lynch, in the prime of his career. And you're like, no, let's throw a slant over the middle where there's linebackers and corners and safeties. Give it to Lynch.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What's
interesting about it is it was such a stupid decision by the coach.
Dumb.
And he did say, I made a stupid decision.
Yeah.
But
you think?
Yeah, look, the odds would have been maybe 50-50 if he had Shedeur Sanders in. But go with the hot hand, buddy.
Go with the guy who has the hot hand. Basketball is like, they got these guys. Some guys, they get on a run of shots and they can't miss, and they start throwing up bad shots. But because everything's going in, you might as well. They call it a heat check. In hockey, you got a guy scoring a ton of goals. You want the puck on his stick as much as possible because he's giving you the best chance to put points on the board. I'm not necessarily a fan of Shedeur Sanders, but he was having a great game. Why you wouldn't want somebody having an amazing game to have the ball in his hands is beyond me. It seems like common sense.
He's got a little bit of a show-off attitude.
Yeah, he's a little flamboyant, right?
A little
okay. Showboaty. Fine, whatever. You got swagger. You want to do it. Look, if you're somebody who has that type of element about you, you have to back it up with your play.
And he did that.
And he
played very well.
If teams have a problem with him showboating, they'll let him know. They'll hit him. They'll rough him up.
Yeah.
But the number one way to keep him from showboating is to stop him.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you're good enough to stop him, you will. I don't care that some of these players want to get hot dog in it and start showboating. That's fine. Do it though, and back it up with your play on the field.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, same way. He's chippy. He's gritty. He's edgy. But he's good. The Bucs aren't necessarily great. They lost to the Saints, which I'm fine with. And I hope the Jets lose to the Saints. And I hope Tennessee keeps winning because we get that draft. And I hope the Colts keep losing because we have their draft pick too.
Well, see, this is what's fun about Phillip Rivers coming back.
I hope Phillip Rivers throws 90 interceptions because that gives us more draft capital.
Well,
to blow, to screw up more college talent coming into.
But
the
it's
NFL.
a fun storyline.
It is. I always loved Phillip Rivers. I loved watching him play.
For 5 years. He's got like 10 kids. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So Antonio Cromartie's got like 15 or something. Right? They were teammates once in San Diego.
Well, he's had them all. Rivers has had them all with his wife.
One person. Yeah. Antonio Cromartie's kind of taking the Elon Musk approach. He's just kind of pollinated.
So, but I think people are going to be watching and people are going to be rooting for Phillip Rivers. Asterisk. I think to expect somebody after 5 years of retirement to come back and play at a high level in the NFL, that's a long shot.
Tough.
That's very tough.
That first hit that he takes,
it's
going to be brutal.
Be
but
rough.
hey, I mean, I always loved watching him play. He was another one.
Yeah.
He was fiery on the field.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, he got in Jay Cutler's head a few times. I think when Cutler was with the Broncos, because they were division rivals, he got in his head, and Cutler was sitting there bawling, crying on the sideline, whining like Jeff George, and Phillip Rivers over there laughing, pointing at him.
So,
it was pretty funny.
That's the NFL.
Yeah.
College, the championships. We got 12 teams in the playoffs.
Yep, and there's an upset team again.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, there's always going to be whether you have two teams.
A couple years ago, it was FSU.
Or whether you have 4 teams,
right.
or whether you have 12 teams.
Someone said, well, why don't we expand it to 18 teams? Well,
the
19th team will be the upset team. Yeah.
Now, however, having said that, there's kind of a bizarre way that they select these teams.
Yeah. There's so many, you have to have a committee.
You've got 2 teams there that, because of the way they structure it, the rankings of Power 5, of not Power 5, but Group of 5.
Yeah.
Right? The lower conferences. Tulane's in. James Madison.
Yeah.
James Madison is in. But out is Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm Notre Dame, I'm looking at this. I've only lost 2 games. Lost the first 2 games of the season. Lost to Miami, which is in, by 3 points. Lost to Ohio State, to Texas A&M, which is in, by 1 point. That's it. If you look at who's been the best team for the past 10 games, Notre Dame's got to be up there.
I think they should join a conference.
Well, here's the thing. You know who threw them under? Their AD is saying who threw them under the bus. ACC conference people. Because they wanted Miami in.
Right.
After Virginia improbably was defeated by 7-5 Duke in the ACC conference playoffs. Yeah. But the interesting thing about this is, if you look at it, it's a tale of 2 teams, because also a 2-loss team that didn't make it was Vanderbilt.
Right. Yeah.
But and Notre Dame said, well, you didn't treat us fairly. We should have been, and they're right. They should have been in. It should be Notre Dame should be in, not James Madison. Give me a break.
Right.
Right. Or even Tulane. Or even Alabama.
You can make the case that Alabama shouldn't be there. You can make the case.
Look at their last 2 games.
Well, look at the game they played against in the beginning of the year against FSU. That was a bad game.
Yeah. Then also, if you look at their win over Auburn, they were lucky to win Auburn.
Yeah.
They were terrible in the SEC championship game. Their last 2 games,
they were awful in that championship game.
Yeah.
But you're not supposed to use the championship game, so they say.
But in theory. But anyways, it doesn't matter. So Notre Dame says, well, you didn't let us into your party. We're not going to go to any bowl game.
I'm not sure that's the way. I think they were going to be in the Pop-Tart Bowl, too, which is, funny. Why wouldn't you want to do that? But,
Nothing says
college football.
Nothing says postseason fun like being in the Pop-Tart Bowl.
The Pop-Tart Bowl. Maybe I don't blame him for ducking out of that. We're Pop-Tart Bowl champions. Congratulations. What do you get? A toaster? What do you get?
But in contrast,
by the way, Pop-Tarts, the best way to eat them is actually in the freezer. Just saying.
But
really
in contrast, I would take a look at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt said they lost 2 games.
Yeah.
Very narrowly. Well, Texas narrowly, Alabama knows. But they said, we're all in, we're going. And by the way, you know who I'm rooting for the Heisman Trophy?
Pavia.
Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the guy I'm rooting for. And what an exciting guy he is.
Yeah.
As a player.
Yeah, he's fun to watch.
Okay. We've taken
Fernando Mendoza, though, by the way, future Jet, hopefully. We'll see.
Could be.
We'll see.
Could be. All right. When we come back, Sean, News Potpourri.
I'm excited.
Back after this.
Tom Carmichael, CEO of Soul Tea, a supplement to help you have a healthier heart and stronger cardiovascular system. At Soul Tea, we regularly get emails from our customers telling us how Soul Tea has helped them. Like this one from Kelly. Hello, I'm 58 years old and have had high cholesterol for years. I wanted to stay away from prescription drugs. My husband and I have been using Soul Tea for about 13 months. My results have been amazing. My cholesterol levels went from 291 to 129. I am so impressed with Soul Tea and want to thank you. Now, in my own case, my bad cholesterol dropped from 130 to 89, and that was 20 years ago. I'm 75 years old and I take 0 prescription drugs. To get a great deal on Soul Tea, please go to GodzillaHeart.com, and when you check out, use the code Godzilla to get our best deal, which is 50% off your first shipment and then 3 bottles for the price of 2 thereafter. You don't have to live with a broken heart.
Do you suffer from
Try
declining
Soul Tea
bone and
today.
joint health? Hi, it's Tina with the John Fredericks Media Network. And when I heard about our company's Women's Challenge, I jumped on the opportunity to test this amazing supplement that's already restoring my bone density, soothing my joint pain, and helping me regain lost mobility. I've experienced so many benefits in such a short time with Native Path Collagen Peptides because they support my bones and joints, boost my metabolism, and unleash the most radiant skin and hair since my 20s. In just 2 weeks, my knee stiffness is gone, and I'm already hitting the gym more aggressively. And I get so many compliments on my glowy skin and shiny hair. Native Path Collagen Peptides are so easy to take. They're tasteless, odorless, and mix great with my morning coffee. Read thousands of 5-star reviews at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Level up your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today. And get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. In studio, the very best Trump impersonator in the world, the one, the only, Sean Farash. Sean, it's that time of day.
It's that time. I love that time.
It's time for News Potpourri. I know you really love that music.
I love the music.
Yes, News Potpourri. This is the portion of the program where we talk about those stories that are of note, don't necessarily merit a full segment, and may have a touch of irony. Here we go. Sean, this isn't irony. This is interesting. SpaceX, Elon Musk's space company.
Yeah.
The ones that rescued astronauts. And
Yeah.
that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that was cool.
They plan an initial public offering next year with a $1 trillion valuation.
Wow.
Pretty
so
high.
they're going public.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm going to buy some stock in them.
They have their Mars ambitions. It's not a bad idea.
Well, I mean, they're the best. when it comes to space
And apparently
exploration.
Sam Altman with OpenAI now wants to purchase a space company to compete with Elon. That seems like sour grapes over
Yeah.
like Elon doing XAI versus ChatGPT, which, by the way, I mean, I use both, and I think ChatGPT is better. I'm
Yeah.
just going to say.
Yeah. Elon Musk did an interview the other day, and he said, in today's culture, today's assassination culture, if I make one mistake, I'm dead. He's right.
He's right.
And so the problem is you can't make one mistake. I've been thinking about that, actually, for many of our beloved public figures. And, you can't make a mistake.
No.
It's very weird.
No, it's sad that we have to live like that. We shouldn't have to live like that. We
But
don't have to, but that's the way the times are, unfortunately.
Hey, speaking of where the times are right now, Fannie Willis.
Oh, Frumpy Fanny.
Frumpy Fanny.
Fat Fanny, too.
She's
You know what I call her, right?
What do you call her?
She's the Nathan's hot dog eating champion. And you know what I'm talking about with Nathan Wade, right? Believe it or not.
I do know. That's funny.
She's a lot better than Joey Chestnut.
On that note, she's testifying before the Georgia State Senate at 2 p.m. Central today.
Oh, great.
And she's in trouble because and it looks like the state, Fulton County taxpayers are on the hook to pay off all of the people that she charged in that phony election.
What a backfire that was, huh?
Yeah.
Fanny? Man.
Here's
what a backfire.
Interesting. Our entire legal system is based on the English system, the Anglo-American system of law, the rule of law. But, they made a mistake there. They did not codify the Constitution in a single document. As a result, the First Amendment that we have here that protects free speech, they don't really have free speech anymore.
UK you're talking about.
Listen to this. This is a judge wearing one of those stupid wigs.
Oh, please.
And he's sentencing somebody to prison for 6 months because of a social media post. Here, listen to this guy.
Counts 2 and 4, the racially aggravated offences, there will be custodial terms of 6 months, and on counts 6, 8, 9, and 10, custodial terms of 4 months, all such terms to run concurrently, and all suspended for a period of 18 months. If during that 18-month period you commit any further offence.
So, in other words, the guy put out some social media posts that, probably some people found offensive.
Of course.
And so now he's basically said, you're going to prison for 6 months. We're going to suspend it for 18 months. But if you say anything we don't like, you're going to prison.
Unbelievable.
They put 12,000 people.
What is he wearing?
I know.
The wig, the outfit.
Yeah.
It looks like a bad high school play. What are we doing? How does anyone take them seriously?
That's a very good point.
In the UK.
It's a very good point.
But really, you're throwing people in jail because your social media posts offended somebody? Then everyone's going to jail because everyone's offended by everything on social media.
So the basis of our legal system, the Anglo-American rule of law, doesn't exist in the United Kingdom anymore.
Right.
They've just punted. And it does not exist in blue states or blue cities in America today.
That's true, too.
It's only in red states.
Yeah.
Very, very
Get out of those blue states.
Hey, I'd love to see what you think about this. In Australia, you see this, what they're doing in Australia?
What now?
Well,
I get along well with the dingoes and the kangaroos, by the way. We're going to make the Great Barrier Reef the greatest barrier reef. We're running for president of Australia. Make Australia great again. It's still MAGA.
They passed a law that basically says you're prohibited if you're under the age of 16 from using social media.
Oh, I did hear about that.
I have mixed feelings about it.
I do too. I think it's good for kids to not be on social media, but I don't think it's the government's job to do it.
I kind of agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people are saying, but then they're telling the social media companies you got to do the age restriction thing, and if not, we'll fine you. This thing, the idea of it is good, but the implementation is there will be a million ways that kids figure out how to get around this.
Oh yeah, if kids could buy cigarettes and beer, they could find a way on Facebook. I mean, so there's going to be. And they do the same thing, right? If you're caught selling alcohol to somebody under the age of 21, you get fined. Kids will find a way around it.
They find a way around it, yeah.
But, but social media, what it used to be, MySpace, Facebook, all them, back, in 2007, 2008, 2009, is a totally different animal now. There's a lot more videos, a lot more people yelling at each other. It's not, connecting with people anymore.
No.
It's fighting with people most of the time. It is toxic. It is toxic. And if you're not ready for backlash on social media and you're not ready for nasty comments, it will take a toll on you.
Donald Trump has a Christmas message for Vladimir Zelensky.
Oh, really?
This from the
Is he on the naughty? He's on the naughty list. We're gonna take that little elf out of Ukraine and send him to the North Pole.
Zelensky and U.S. to hold peace plan talks today after Trump sets Christmas deadline.
Oh, okay.
You got, color me skeptical about anything going on peaceful between Ukraine and Russia. You've got leaders there who want to basically continue to be dictatorial on both sides.
Yep.
And they don't seem to be interested in peace. Donald Trump is interested in peace.
Right.
We'll see how that plays out.
We'll see what happens.
Sean Farash.
Yes.
Live and in living color.
Finally back.
We are delighted to have you here.
Excited, always as always.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks.
Up next, Rob Carson. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock Central Time. The website, TennesseeStar.com. TennesseeStar.com. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. Thanks for joining us.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like The Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com. Listen to Michael Patrick Leahy and make America great again.
FlatFeeNashville.com is a full-service real estate brokerage that charges homeowners a upfront flat fee of $999 to completely list, market, and sell your home. We are all about saving consumers money, saving that equity. Nobody should hire an agent and feel like when that agent walks in the door, that agent is more concerned about the down payment on their next Mercedes purchase versus saving the equity that those homeowners have worked hard for. I've spent a career, my entire career, in ensuring that the equity that people save and they put into their monthly mortgage every single month, as much of that as possibly can goes back to them when they go to list and sell that home. The idea is
get your truth by the truckload from America's Godzilla of Truth, the John Frederick Show, weekdays 5 to 9 a.m. on WENO Nashville, KQPN West Memphis.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington.